Here at Lucas Oil Stadium, the roof is open tonight as Indianapolis gets ready to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go down to the third member of our broadcast team on the sidelines, Jeffrey Gorman.
Well, thank you, Don. On both sidelines tonight, we heard Jim Sorgi say it earlier. By 9 p.m. tomorrow, the rosters are at 53. Guys are going to lay it on the line tonight to make both of these respective rosters and hopefully put up a good show. If they don't make it here, there's other teams in the league looking for players. Don, back to you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. As you see, Indianapolis will receive here tonight. There's Chuck Pagano. And our FedEx Express game ball delivery, of course. We understand you need a winning game plan. FedEx delivers the game ball for Indianapolis Colts. Cassius Vaughn is back deep for the first time in preseason to receive this kickoff. Mike Nugent will do the booting for Cincinnati. And Chuck Pagano has a lot of on his plate here, Jim, in the next day or so because he has to make all those cuts.
Yeah, a lot of decisions to make. Like Jeffrey said and I said earlier, you get down to 53 by 9 o'clock tomorrow. But that doesn't mean your roster's over. Then the other guys from other teams are getting cut too. And then you got whether you're going to sign some free agents or whether you're going to wait for claim some guys off the waiver wire. A lot of things are going to happen in the next couple of days.
Cassius Vaughn from about 4 yards deep in the end zone. And Vaughn takes it out near the 20-yard line before he gets stopped. And he's down by George Iloka, a 6'4" rookie out of Boise State. It's now time to take a look at the Toyota starting lineups presented by your Central Indiana Toyota dealers, the official vehicle of the Colts. And there you have the offensive line for Indianapolis. Linkenbach and Olsen both starters tonight. There you see the offensive backfield. Donald Brown, Dwayne Allen, the new rookie tight end, along with Kobe Fleener, and that's how Indianapolis lines up offensively to start this game. How long we'll see the starters in there? Anybody's guess. But not much more than one series, perhaps two at the most. Andrew Luck at quarterback, as you can see, and he's going to go downfield with the first pass of the ball game, and he gets knocked down. He was looking for Brown out of the backfield. Thomas Howard on the deflection. Andrew Luck's numbers here in the preseason. We've got a flag down incidentally as well, but this guy has been very productive in the preseason.
Yeah, he really has. 40 of 64, 514 yards, 3 TDs, 2 picks.
Legal
with
contact.
a QBR of 90.2.
Defense number 29. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
He's done a real nice job, and I think he's kind of solidified why the Colts took him number 1 in the draft, and I think he's ready to lead this team to a great season.
Leon Hall was the guilty party on the penalty for the Bengals, and there you take a look at the Bengal defensive alignment. They also starting a couple of new faces out there tonight defensively, as the Colts on first down from the 25-yard line go to work. And Donald Brown gets the carry. Running game has kind of stalled here in the last couple of weeks, and obviously we're looking for that to be a change tonight. We'll look at the rest of the defensive secondary now for the Cincinnati Bengals. Leon Hall, of course, one of the better defensive corners in the league. And this Bengals team has really started to pick things up here in the last 3 years. Twice they made the playoffs. Last year's a wild card team with a 9-7 season. Andrew Luck, little dump pass over the middle to Fleener, and Fleener can't hang on to it. So the Colts trying to go to the air a couple of times, a little run. Not much happening thus far. They got held by a penalty. Now it's a third down situation.
Yeah, this is not what Coach Pagano wants from the starting offense beginning of the game. 2 bad plays there. Kind of ran the ball into a blitz, and then a drop pass there, really kind of covered. But he wants great execution from his offense. He wants to run the ball. He wants to increase the average, and just aren't doing it so far.
Donnie Avery's out there as a wide receiver at the top of your screen. Last week, seeing his first preseason action with the Colts. That's third down at about 12. And Luck stepping up, throwing the pass out there. Nice catch this time by Fleener, but not enough for the first down. He'll be about 4 yards shy, and the Colts will be forced to punt it away. Leon Hall on the stop for Cincinnati.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, this is a great job by the Colts offensive line. They had 2 linebackers in the A gap right there, ready to come and get some pressure on Andrew Luck. Offensive line, they drop one, they bring the other. The offensive line does a great job picking it up. Too bad we couldn't get the ball downfield, get a first down, but good job getting the completion and getting a few more yards to get some breathing room.
Pat McAfee will punt it away here. Brandon Tate is the deep man for Cincinnati. He backs up to the 18-yard line, takes another step backwards, now back to the 15, and then he gets smothered. Colts did a great job defensively there on the coverage team as Vic Ballard came down on special teams. Another way to make this squad is on special teams, Jimmy. We'll take a look at the starting lineups for the Cincinnati Bengals. There you see the offense. Zeitler, an outstanding offensive right guard for Cincinnati.
First-round draft pick there.
And in the backfield,
Chris Presley from the University of Wisconsin.
I knew that was going to come up at some point, and it comes up early. Andy Dalton was the quarterback in his second season. Little dump out pass there to A.J. Green, their outstanding rookie receiver a year ago, and obviously in his second season they're expecting big things from him. Cassius Vaughn is able to hog time and bring him out of bounds, but not before he picks up a first down on the play. This is preseason numbers for Andy Dalton, the quarterback for Cincinnati, and this guy had a great first year.
Yeah, he really did. Made it to the Pro Bowl, got these Cincinnati Bengals to the playoffs. I mean, he's done a pretty good job this preseason. Didn't have a great game last week against Green Bay, but I'm sure he's looking to bounce back today.
Lineups, of course, brought to you by Toyota, presented by your Central Indiana Toyota dealers, the official vehicle of the Colts. Dalton this time is going to hand the ball off. Leonard comes up with the return, or the carry that time for Cincinnati, as we take a look at the Colts defense here. But the run game for Cincinnati hasn't been very productive here in the preseason. They're hoping to get that on track here tonight as you look at the Colts defensive alignment. Antonio Johnson now in that nose tackle spot. There you see defensive end Robert Mathis starting tonight. Dwight Freeney is sitting this one out. And of course, Antoine Bethea, the stalwart defensive back at safety for the Colts. Second down and 4 as Dalton wants to go to the air, and he dumps this one out of the backfield. And the pass is complete to the fullback. That was Chris Presley, and Justin Hickman brought him down. But Cincinnati moving the chains here in the early going.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see our defense out there. Robert Mathis out there after missing last week with that shoulder injury. You got Vontae Davis just acquired by the Colts, obviously not playing tonight. Probably doesn't know the lingo, the terminology all too well yet. Gerard Powers with the knee sitting out tonight, so it gives these guys, Cassius Vaughn, DJ Johnson, some significant playing time to try to get that roster spot.
Mentioned that the Bengals trying to get the running game going, but Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, their acquisition from New England, has been hurt with a sprained toe, will not play tonight again. Their backup, or their #1 backup at the running back spot, is Bernard Scott. He has not played at all in the preseason up to this point because of an injury to his hand. DJ Johnson had to stop there for the Colts, but again they pick up about 6 yards. Yeah,
they're just kind of bending right now. You know, that's what their MO this whole preseason has been, kind of bend don't break defense. So I'm expecting things to happen. Get the ball back, stop them here on 2nd and 3rd down, and force them to punt.
2nd and 4. And Dalton looks over the Colt defensive unit, hands the ball to Leonard. Leonard finds a hole on the left side, pops through it, broke a tackle, and then he is swung out of bounds right around the 40-yard line of the Colts. Antoine Bethea finally caught up to him and was able to down him, but they pick up big yardage on the play and a first down in Colt territory at the 41.
The Colts tackling most of this preseason has been pretty good. They've had, lapses sometime. Against Pittsburgh, you saw it on that wide receiver screen. They missed a bunch of tackles, took it to the house for a touchdown. You see right there, just a bunch of missed tackles, but you really haven't seen it the entire preseason. It's just been spotty every once in a while.
1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Leonard is the running back. Dalton play fake, tries to dump it over the middle, and Dalton got blasted pretty good that time as the Colts caught up to him, and Robert Mathis, I think, was in, and that played big. And Dalton got rid of it just to do that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is one of those meet at the quarterbacks. Robert Mathis right there just says, hey, I'll meet you at the quarterback to the other outside linebacker, and they kind of sandwiched them, one high, one low.
Mario Addison was the guy that also was in there for the Colts. And we got an injured Cincinnati Bengal on the far sideline over there. And we got timeout on the field, and that's Andy Dalton. And that's not good when your starting quarterback gets hurt. As we've got time out of the field, we're back in a moment. Looking at his elbow, but he bopped up pretty quickly as he got to the sideline. Doesn't look like he's any worse for wear. And so he probably has finished his night's worth of action, however. Well, Meyer, the official supercenter of the Indianapolis Colts, will be hosting special Blue Friday events throughout the 2012 season. During every Blue Friday at Meyer, 24 fans will win 2 passes to VIP tailgate parties and 2 tickets to the game. For more information, visit Colts.com/Blue Friday. Here's a little dump pass from Bruce Brodowski, who's coming to the game to Leonard out of the backfield. And again, the Bengals come up with 9 big yards on the play as DJ Johnson and Mario Addison combine to bring him down. Brodowski is a long-time backup for Cincinnati, a 7th-year player out of Toledo, 6'1", 220.
Yeah, he spent a bunch of time down in Tampa Bay, spent some time with the Raiders. He was in Tampa Bay with offensive coordinator Jay Gruden from Cincinnati Bengals, which is kind of probably why he's here. He knows the offense well, but this is a guy that's seasoned veterans, played a lot of football, is probably going to be okay.
3rd down and 1 as Leonard gets the call, and he's got a first down. Started to the inside, cut it outside, and then picked up the first down easily, and then about 5 extra or 6 extra yards to boot. And so Cincinnati maintains possession and continues to move the football.
Yeah, you see right here, just can't allow him to get outside. You got to keep contained. Brian Leonard gets outside there, able to turn it up, get the first down, and get a new set of downs for these Bengals.
Cabell Connor was over there to make the stop, but Cincinnati moving the football at the Indianapolis 26-yard line. And now they go to a power formation with a straight eye in the backfield. Man in motion out there's Brandon Tate. And there's the little dump out to him, but he can't hang on to it. So that'll make it an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
You'll see a lot of offenses do that. If the defense gets too many guys in the box, they'll just take it out, take the snap and throw it out there to the wide receiver on a little now route or a little slant if he's pressed up, just because they don't want to run the ball against that many defenders. You don't have enough guys to block them.
Tate, one of the guys they're very high on, believing that he is going to be a major factor with this team as well. Of course, he's been pretty solid last year. Now Brodowski on 2nd and 10. Throws it out of the backfield, and catching the football is Pierman, Cedric Pierman, a new running back in the ball game, and he's stopped for no gain.
Yeah, good job by Jarrell Freeman and Antoine Bethea. Do a good job of making a tackle, only picking up a yard, leaving 3rd and 9, 3rd and long. Good situation for the Colts to be in.
3rd down and 9, football at the 25. And the Colts trying to get a stop here and force Cincinnati into a field goal try rather than an effort at getting 6. Brodowski in the shotgun formation. And he dumps it over the middle. He breaks 1 tackle. Again, this is Pierman, and he's knocked down at the 20-yard line, well shy of the first down. So now Cincinnati's got a decision to make, and Marvin Lewis is going to send the field goal unit into the ball game.
We've seen it all season. Right here, you see the coach will rush 4 defensive linemen. They got to check it down. Great gang tackling. All the guys are getting to the ball, making sure that that running back doesn't get the first down.
Mike Nugent will try the extra or the field goal try here from the 27, so a 37-yard field goal try. Kevin Huber will hold. Nugent, 8th year out of Ohio State with a kick, and he's got it through the uprights. And so Cincinnati draws first blood in this final preseason game between these two clubs, Cincinnati and Indianapolis, a traditional ending preseason for these two teams. We're back with a kickoff in a moment. A field goal for the Bengals put them on the board first in this football game. You know, Indiana University Health is proud to support the strength of the Indianapolis community through its partnership with the Indianapolis Colts. IU Health, expert physicians, nationally ranked care. Discover the strength at iuhealth.org. And speaking of health, the quarterback for Cincinnati, Andy Dalton, picked up a bruise on his right arm. And I don't think it's very serious, but at the same time, they wanted to take no chances as Mike Nugent kicks off for Cincinnati, and I'm sure Dalton's evening is done. Levon Brazil catches the football at the back of the end zone, and his foot stepped out, so he couldn't return it. And we have another timeout, and we'll be back as the Colts retake over the football here on possession number 2 tonight. the Bengals taking the lead over Indianapolis on a field goal. Citizens Energy Group scoring recap shows you what happened there as Mike Nugent kicked the 37-yarder. Let's the Citizens Energy Group scoring recap, of course, brought to you by Citizens Energy. And we are ready for action once again. And Jim, Andy Dalton out of the game. So is Andrew Luck.
Yeah, you knew it wasn't going to take long. I would have liked to have seen a better series out of Andrew Luck in the starting offense. But listen, you don't need him right now. You need him 10 days from now, September 9th, when you're facing Julius Peppers and Brian Urlacher and the boys up in Chicago.
I'm not so sure that what happened to Dalton there might have just said, Pagano said, "Are you kidding me? We're not going to have that up to our guy." So at any rate, Drew Stanton is in the ball game. Of course, Drew didn't see any action last week because he was headed back to Indianapolis from Washington, D.C. to watch his wife give birth to a child.
Congratulations to him. I hope it's a healthy and happy baby, healthy and happy mom. I wish him all the best.
So Drew Stanton getting an opportunity here tonight, and he might play a significant portion of this first half.
You know, I think Drew will do a nice job. He spent, a number of years with the Detroit Lions. Then he goes to the New York Jets, and then they acquire Tim Tebow, and then he gets traded here to the Indianapolis Colts, where he's hoping to make a home.
And a nice throw to Dwayne Allen right there as he gets knocked out of bounds right around the 45-yard line by Roderick McElroy. And a nice pass that time by Stanton.
Yeah, he's always had a strong arm, even coming out of Michigan State. Good play action, good protection by the offensive line. He leads Dwayne Allen toward the sidelines where only Dwayne Allen can get it, kind of shielding the defender. Nice job, just a great play in general.
Dwayne Allen has, I think, accounted for himself extremely well in this preseason, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dwayne Allen. I've listened to some interviews. I've heard him speak. He's a good guy. He's an intelligent guy. He speaks, very well for himself, and I'm a fan of his.
Here's LeVon Brazil on a little bit of a trick play for the Colts on an end around, and it turns out that it didn't trick anybody really, as LeVon had no place to go.
Not on the Cincinnati defense.
T.J. Heath came in there and made the stop on the play.
Pretty simple reverse, and the D-end just does not fall for it. Just hits Brazil in the backfield. He does a good job getting what he can get and only losing 5 yards.
Yeah, Carlos Dunlap was not fooled in the least. And so now it's 2nd down and 15.
You'll see Andrew Luck out of the game and Reggie Wayne out of the game, but most of the offensive starting line is still in there.
Here's a little inside handoff to Vic Ballard, and Ballard finds a hole. Made one, too. Down the sideline and knocked out of bounds, but a terrific run by Vic Ballard, who has really had a terrific preseason as well. The rookie out of Mississippi State, the 5th-round draft pick.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this kid is just impressed all preseason. He's had 23 carries, 70 yards. He's having 3 yards of rush. He just makes big plays, and that's what you want. He's out there showcasing skills, and I think he's put up, numbers and done well enough to secure that backup job behind Donald Brown.
Unfortunately, this play is going to be called back because of a flag. And I did not hear what the official indicated, but whatever, it was a hold against Indianapolis. And so Vic Ballard's beautiful run there is negated, and the ball goes all the way back to the 32-yard line of the Colts.
Penalties, turnovers, and sacks. They will kill drives, and they will hurt your football team.
Chris Adams is in the ball game as one of the wideouts to the far side now. Stanton will work out of a shotgun look, although there's only one wide receiver split to the right. Quadruple of receivers to the near side. Here's the throw, and LeVon Brazil makes the catch down at the 39-yard line, so the gain is good for about 7 or 8. Chris Lewis Harris in on the tackle for Cincinnati. Now's your chance to get single-game Colts tickets for selected home games. Go to Colts.com for more information. 3rd down for Indianapolis, but Stanton's got a long way to go on this one. 3rd and 19.
The key here, Cincinnati's not going to bring pressure. They're going to be in the cover 2. It's key here is just not to turn the ball over. Don't throw an interception. Get some yards and punt the ball. Back them up in their end of the field.
Little dump pass to Vic Ballard. Again, he makes a nice run after catching the football and gets it down inside Cincinnati territory at the 48-yard line, but he's not able to pick up the first down as George Iloka brings him down for the Bengals, and that's going to force Pat McAfee to come on and punt the ball away. Nice job by Ballard again, though, running with the football after he makes the catch. And this young man has made a name for himself here in Indianapolis in the preseason.
Yeah, DeLon Carter, Morelli Moore out with some rib injuries the last couple weeks. I think he's kind of cemented himself in that number 2 spot.
Brandon Tate makes a fair catch back inside the 10-yard line. And so Cincinnati will take over about their own 9 as play will resume after this timeout here at Lucas Oil Stadium. First quarter of this matchup with the Bengals tonight as Cincinnati takes over the football once again. You know, Colts fans, be sure to visit the Bud Light Party Zone at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Bud Light Party Zone is above the north end zone in front of the windows that open to the Indianapolis skyline. You get a shot of it there. Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Proud sponsor of the Indianapolis Colts. Cedric Pierman is in the backfield, so is Chris Presley for Cincinnati. And the quarterback, Brad Gradowski, hands the ball off right up the middle. Not much there. They'll pick up a couple. Beating Mawala, 4th-year defensive tackle from USC, into the stop. Connor was there as well.
Good job here, just clogging up the middle. You know, coming off the block, making the tackle. He still gave up almost 3 yards, and it's just a little too much for a straight dive play to give up to that to the offense.
2nd down and 7. Gradowski under center this time. Has a tight end there in motion, Colin Koshard. And the whistle blows as the play unfolds. And action stops with a procedure violation going to be called against Cincinnati.
False start. Offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Wide receiver Marvin Jones, the guilty party. So it'll be 2nd down at about 12 now as they move the football back to the 8-yard line, make it the 7. Obviously an opportunity for Cincinnati players also to make a name for themselves tonight with that coaching staff on the far sideline. Gradowski in the end zone, just barely gets rid of it, threw it a little bit too high, intended for Pierman. And it went over his head, uncatchable, I should say. And it'll be a 3rd down play now, 3rd and 12.
Yeah, Cincinnati just trying to set up a screen here to the left. You know, right guard just kind of misses the block on Philly Morales, not giving the quarterback time to complete the throw. Great job by Philly Morales today so far.
Yeah, Pierman really just let that one drop. So now 3rd and long. Mohamed Sanu is in the game as one of the wideouts for Cincinnati. Gradowski works out of the shotgun. Pressure comes. He gets rid of it again. This time it's caught by Pierman. He gets hit at the 10, got away, but is down to around the 12-yard line. And the Colts do another nice job putting the stop on, but we've got a flag down on this play as well. Drake Nevis was in there on the tackle. And we'll wait to see what the official indicates here. Gradowski kind of signaling that it looks like it's against Indianapolis.
Maybe an offsides.
Offsides. Defense, number 92. 5-yard penalty. Still down.
And Jerry Hughes is the guilty party there for the Colts. He was offside. So the Bengals will get another opportunity here with 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, and Jerry Hughes has had a heck of a preseason. He's 3rd in the NFL in sacks with 3. He's got 15 tackles to lead the Colts, but that right there is just inexcusable. 3rd and 12, you jump off sides, you give them a free 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 7, and 3rd and 7 is an easy pickup. 3rd and 12 was a lot harder.
So Gradowski goes into the shotgun formation. 3rd down and 7 this time. Again, a little dump off pass. This time it goes to Colin Koshard, the tight end. And he is down before he could pick up the 1st down. So another nice defensive play. Jarrell Freeman this time, the linebacker who continues to oppress out of Mary Hardin Baylor, made the stop.
Yeah, you're going to see it here. The Colts bring some pressure. 2 linebackers, a guy off the slot. Tight end they throw a little tight end screen to the left there. Colts do a good job making the tackle after the catch and keeping them short of the 1st down.
Levon Brazil is back deep to receive the punt from Kevin Huber for Cincinnati. And he'll get this one away. A deep kick. Brazil back inside his own 30-yard line. Tries to find some running room and takes it up the middle. Another flag comes down very late this time. Well after that play was stopped, so we'll just wait and see what that's all about.
I'll tell you how important special teams is, Don. A few years ago, Colts had a guy named Taj Smith. He was a wide receiver, never really caught on the practice squad a couple times. He had a big preseason in special teams. I think he returned a kick, blocked a couple kicks, I believe, and kind of solidified himself as a special teams guy who was going to make some plays. He ended up making the roster and getting on this team and eventually getting a year under his belt, toward his pension and benefits and stuff like that.
Holding on the return, team number 54. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
So a hold against the Colts. Mario Harvey is the guilty party this time. Another penalty. We're seeing a bit more of that, and now we've got a timeout on the field. Our score is Cincinnati 3 and Indianapolis nothing. We'll keep it here this time as the Colts, of course, Chuck Pagano, big job tomorrow making the final cuts of this football team, and it's going to be interesting to see who does make it, who does not. Well, the Forum Credit Union question of the game is at hand, and the Colts are undefeated at home against 3 National Football League teams. Can you name those 3 teams? We'll give you a second to think about it. Jim has been pretty good about answering these bad boys.
Yeah,
but he's giving me that look like he's got no idea. Well, that's not an easy question to answer because
I can narrow it down. I know it's not the Patriots. I know it's not the Chargers.
Well, we'll let you think about it here for a couple of plays, and we'll get back to it. Let's talk just for a second. You know, the injured reserve list rule came out different today. I don't know if you've heard about this, Jim, but they're going to allow NFL teams now 1 player you can designate that can come back within 6 weeks. Normally, if you're on the injured reserve list, you're on it for the full season. They're going to allow you 1 player. And you have to designate that player by tomorrow afternoon. I don't know exactly the time frame, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But you could designate a player you think could come back this year, but probably is going to need, 6 to 10 weeks or whatever it might be to do so. Right now, I don't know who that would be off the Colts. I don't think, I'll be honest, I couldn't even guess at it. But at any rate, it is a new rule involving the injured reserve, and that's a big break for somebody.
Yeah, it's kind of an old rule that turns into a new rule, because that's the way it used to be back in the day in the NFL. But, if I had to take a shot at somebody, how about Griff Whalen? They put him on injured reserve, a little broken bone in his foot, something that he might be able to come back from in 6 weeks, and he's done a heck of a job this preseason.
Yep, there's no question about that. Chandler Harnish is now in the ball game at quarterback, so we've got our 3rd Colts quarterback in this contest tonight. Drew Stanton played just one series as well, so he is already out, and Chandler Harnish may get a lot of duty in this one.
Yeah, this is surprising to me. I don't know if Drew got hurt or what happened, but normally you'd see the 2nd string guy go into the halftime and maybe a series or 2 into the 3rd quarter and then bring the 3rd string guy in. So this is a little different than what I'm used to.
Chandler Harnish tried to dump that one out, and that ball went out of bounds, and that almost looked like he threw it behind him, which would make it a lateral.
Yeah, they're going to call that a live football. A lateral and a loss of 5 yards.
So they're going to move that football back inside the 15-yard line to the 13. And Cincinnati defensively gets a big break there as Chandler Harnish was looking to throw it out there in the flat. It looked like LeVon Brazil was the intended receiver. Well, 3rd down conversions are brought to you by Huntington. Welcome to the bank that's passionate about doing the right thing. Huntington, the official bank of the Colts. It's 3rd and 16 for Indianapolis as Harnish works out of the shotgun formation. Chandler goes to work and was looking to pick up that 1st down if he could have found his receiver, and that play Jeremy Ross, but it was thrown high and long. So incomplete, and the Colts will be forced to punt it away.
Yeah, I think if he could get that play back in general, I think he could go back and watch film and see LeVon Brazil running a post. Maybe give him a shot down the middle of the field to go up and make a play for a big play. Kind of overthrew that one, lost it high.
Andrew Hawkins is back deep for Cincinnati to receive. Pat McAfee, of course, doing the punting. He'll try to get a big leg into this one, kicking out of his own end zone. Natty gets off a good one. And Hawkins receives it at the 36-yard line, moves it across the 40, and then is smothered by Colt tacklers. But good field position for Cincinnati to start this drive. We told you about the Forum Credit Union question of the game. The Colts are undefeated at home against 3 NFL teams. Name the 3 teams. Jimmy, any idea?
Undefeated at home against 3 NFL teams. I'll just take a guess. I'm going to say the Packers, the Lions, and Jaguars.
Baltimore. How about that? 10-0.
Wow.
All-time at home against Houston, and 9-0 all-time at home against Minnesota. So Minnesota, Houston, and Baltimore are the teams that they have not been beaten by.
You know what? You're right. We did beat Houston at end of last season. You're right. I should have known.
Well, that's not easy, I can tell you. You start thinking about it, and you're thinking about all the games that you've seen them lose in this place, too, or the teams they've lost to here. So Gronkowski there got dumped unceremoniously.
Jerry Hughes just a different player this year. I mean, he's just come out fired up, just getting in that backfield, wreaking havoc.
Gronkowski again goes to work under center. Pearman is the running back. He takes the handoff. Pearman tries to find a hole on the left side, and he'll pick up 3. Gets it to the 45-yard line. Jerry Hughes again into the tackle, and you're right, Hughes has had a great preseason, no question about it. He's really trying to solidify his position on this ball club. Having much better preseason than he has previously had, and I think the scheme of the defense has been a big reason why.
Yeah, it really could be. You see guys flourish in certain defenses and then just not do well in others. Maybe a 4-3 wasn't meant for him. 4-3 defensive end, maybe a 3-4 outside linebacker is where he's supposed to be.
Gronkowski, as a blitz comes, but the flag goes down and whistles the play dead before Gronkowski can get rid of the football.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Matthew O'Donnell, the offensive tackle, got a little bit too quick, and now the ball is back at the 40-yard line. So it's 3rd down and 12. These two teams are not helping themselves with penalties in this contest. Gronkowski goes to work. Again, the dump off to Pearman. Pearman's got a 1st down. And a nice job by the Bengals that time of spreading the field and giving Pearman a place to run. So a 1st down for Cincinnati. Timeout on the field. Bengals are leading it 3-0, and we'll be back after these messages. And there on the sideline, number 23, the newest member of the Indianapolis Colts, young man by the name of Vontae Davis, Jim. And this guy is really an outstanding corner, picked up in a trade this week from Miami.
Yeah, he's got outstanding skills. I mean, he's got good size. He's almost 6 foot tall. He's 205 pounds. You know, he came out of Illinois, drafted by the Miami Dolphins in the 1st round. He actually came out early. He came out after his junior year. He's entering his 4th year in the NFL, but he's only 24 years old. He's played in, a bunch of games, 44 games with 36 starts, and he's actually was the first person to lead the Dolphins in interceptions as a rookie in 20 years. So this guy can play.
No question about it. Nice stop there by Mario Harvey, first-year player out of Marshall, who comes up and makes the tackle for Indianapolis. A yard loss. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
I mean, I know we gave up a 2nd-round pick and a conditional late-round pick for Vontae Davis, but if he turns out to be the player that he can be and that he was in college, I mean, sky's the limit. It would have been, we got him at a bargain if he ends up being the player I think he could play.
No question about it. You don't find too many 2nd-round guys as ready-made for that starting spot at a corner in this league, and this guy's got the experience. There's no question. Mike Newton on the stop here this time, but again, the Bengals on long down situations have found a way to pick up 1st downs.
Yeah, the Colts really not bringing too much pressure tonight, just kind of a base defense, kind of vanilla defense. Does a good job in the shotgun, getting a snap, hand the ball off, and find the hole and getting 11 yards, 12 yards for the 1st down.
Cedric Pierman is the running back for Cincinnati. Gradkowski continues to work at quarterback. And Pierman gets the call right up the middle. Nobody there to stop him initially, and he's able to carry it for about a 9-yard gain in the play. So Pierman looking to try and make this roster for Cincinnati. We'll see it again.
Well, in this 3-4 defense, your nose tackle and your D tackles are two gappers. You're supposed to take a double team on each side, and your linebackers supposed to fly around, get the hits, and make the plays. And I just haven't seen the linebackers getting too many big hits and getting in the backfield that often.
Straight eye formation for Cincinnati on 2nd and short yardage. But Gradkowski's going to throw it. Looking down the field, catch is made for a second, and then no, it's out of his grasp as Marvin Jones had it in his hands, the rookie out of California, 5th-round draft pick this year for Cincinnati. But that's one of those you got to hang on to, and he didn't do it.
Yeah. Going against Josh Gordy here on the outside, a guy that the Colts just picked up. Gradkowski does a good job putting it in the breadbasket. He's just got to come down with that. But the Bengals are really high on that guy, Marvin Jones. He's got 5 receptions, 111 yards, 1 TD in this preseason. He's their 5th-round draft pick out of Cal. 6'2", 195 pounds. I think he can take the top off of defense. He's fast, he's strong, and he's big.
Still 3rd and short. A lot of pressure coming, but the pass is dropped again. Good defensive coverage that time by the Colts, however. A nice job. It looked to me like it was Mike Newton who got a hand on him. And so Newton does a nice job of knocking that ball away at the end.
Good job by the defensive line. Getting pressure in the backfield. Good job by the entire defense, just stiffening up here in the red zone, forcing them to kick a field goal, I think, here on 4th down. But it looks like they might have other intentions of going for it.
Yeah, we'll see what's happening here. They're going to spot it just shy of the 22-yard line. Gradkowski stays on the field, and now we've got a timeout being called by Cincinnati. Well, one of the keys tonight, of course, is to stay healthy, and the starters didn't play very long. An opportunity for other guys to make this squad. There you see Marvin Lewis, and it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow for this coaching staff. Pagano in particular, since he's a first-time head coach. We're back in a minute after these messages.
So I think we're going to be the best in the NFL. I know no one else does, and I really don't care. But I believe that the people we're going to line up, the 11 people that we're going to line up on Sundays, believe that we're going to be the best.
That's Tommy Zibikowski, a 5th-year player out of Notre Dame, and acquired by the Colts as that pass by Gradkowski is declared a catch. Mohamed Sanu makes a nice grab there for a 1st down. But Zibikowski does have the bravado of a fighter, and of course he did a lot of that fighting when he was in college at Notre Dame. But he played with Baltimore the last few years, and this guy's a tough guy, and he believes in himself.
Yeah, one of the 3 guys we got from the Ravens this offseason. Obviously, Brandon McKinney on IR with the ACL tear. Corey Redding not playing tonight with the knee injury. He's the one that's just been in there fighting, and that's the kind of mindset you have to have. You got to think this defense is going to be the best, and you got to go out there and play with that confidence, play with that swagger, and hope you can go out there and do your job and things work out.
And the other aspect of this is with Zibikowski in there, he hasn't played a tremendous amount in this preseason either because of injuries, but tonight I think he's just being held out because they're making sure that they don't get anybody else hurt. And that's been a real issue in this preseason. They've had several guys to go down with injuries, maybe not long-term injuries, but injuries nevertheless that have kept a lot of guys out of playing time. That's 2nd down for Cincinnati. Gradkowski goes to the air. Flag goes down immediately before the ball ever got there to Marvin Jones. And we'll see what this is all about. Again, we're working with replacement officials here this evening, and it's been told that replacement officials will work the first weekend of the NFL.
Offsides. Defense number 37. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Brandon King, a 2nd-year player out of Purdue, the guilty party there for the Colts. And so that's going to help Cincinnati a little bit as they'll move the football down to the 13, make it the 12-yard line.
You mentioned replacement officials, and I think it's You know, you're out there. It's a physical game. I think you want real officials out there, guys that have been in the trenches before. I think with these replacement officials, every play is going to be scrutinized. The calls are going to be scrutinized to the nth degree, and I just think it isn't fair. So I hope they get that deal done with the refs sooner rather than later.
Boom Herron is now in as a running back for Cincinnati. First-year player out of Ohio State, or a rookie from Ohio State. And this guy was a terrific running back for the Buckeyes the last couple of years.
We've seen some pretty good defensive line play so far in this first half. Guys getting off blocks, guys putting pressure on the quarterbacks, knocking the O-line back. Jerry Hughes done a good job while he's in there. Philly Moala's done a good job, and you like to see those guys pick it up.
Bengals are having to earn everything they're getting in this series. It's third down now at the 10. Gradkowski lets it fly. Ball is caught and into the end zone, and a nice catch by Marvin Jones for Cincinnati. And they score the first touchdown of this ball game.
Yeah, this is a great back shoulder throw by Bruce Gradkowski, but this is the third time, you know, in the last 5 plays they've went to Marvin Jones. Actually, Marvin Lewis Jones, actually, amazing as that is. Same middle name as the coach, but great catch, great anticipation by Jones. And like I said before, this is a guy they're really high on. We put Josh Gordy in the man-to-man situation there and just couldn't keep up with him.
So now an extra point try by Nugent. And the Bengals trying to grab a 10-0 lead here in the early portion of the second quarter of this contest. And the kick is good. And Cincinnati now has a 10-0 lead over Indianapolis. As you see Jones there on the sideline celebrating with his teammates. We're back with the kickoff in a moment. Welcome back once again to Lucas Oil Stadium. Cheerleaders having a good time tonight. Right now, the Colts, however, are trailing the Cincinnati Bengals by a 10-0 count. Let's take a look at the Citizens Energy Group scoring recap. There you see it, a 12-play drive once again. So the 4:59 of the clock, not surprising at all. And Marvin Jones with the touchdown catch from Bruce Gradkowski. So the Colts will go back to work here. New face in the game to return. That's Deji Kareem, the third-year player out of Southern Illinois University and claimed off of waivers from Jacksonville. Get into a little bit more talk about the waiver wire, because that's one thing the Colts will be able to take advantage of. Here comes the kick return. And Kareem gets knocked down at the 10-yard line. Very good open field tackle by Dante Moak. Linebacker, second-year player out of Nevada. We have time out on the field. We'll be back with more after these messages.
All the quarterbacks learn a little something here. You get those pictures after every series. It kind of shows you the side view and the back view of the defense, what they're throwing at you, pre-snap and post-snap. And you see #1 draft pick there, guy with 6 years NFL experience, kind of teaching Mr. Irrelevant there. Hey, this is what they're doing. This is what they're bringing, showing you. This is how you counteract it. You take advantage of things you can do, audibles and checks and all that out there. But Andrew Luck only got 1 series tonight. Drew Stanton got 1 series, so it looks like Chandler Harnish is in for the long haul tonight, Don.
A teaching moment brought to you by Harrison College, who's celebrating their 110th anniversary of educating Hoosiers. Harrison College, career-focused, success-driven. You'll see that the starting point for the Colts here is at the 5-yard line. That's because there was a holding penalty on that kick return. And so the Colts are starting at their own 5-yard line, 1st and 10. And Chandler Harnish hands it off. He goes to Darren Evans, who comes up with a run out of the backfield and kind of slipped down over there. It looked like he might get more than what he got. He picks up maybe 3 yards of the play out to the 8. And I think he just kind of slipped and lost his footing. So it'll be 2nd down at about 7.
Yeah, Darren Evans, another guy, you know, trying to get that roster spot, maybe on special teams as the third running back out there. He's had 17 carries this preseason, 45 yards, 2 touchdowns. A guy that runs the ball hard, had a real good game last week against the Redskins.
And power I formation for Indianapolis. Harnish hands it off. Darren Evans gets the call again and finds little running room as he tries to take it off the left side. Vincent Ray came up very quickly and made the stop after a gain of, call it a short 2. And that brings up 3rd down and 5 for Indianapolis.
We really haven't got to talk about all these receivers for Indianapolis, but you got some guys out there vying for a spot too. You got LaVon Brazil, T.Y. Hilton, Jeremy Ross, Chris Adams. I mean, these guys are out there, you know, and wide receivers are a position that can play special teams. That can play, you know, gunners and guys that get down there and kick off and punt team. And so a lot of those guys will be trying to make it on special teams also.
Here's Harnish, and boy, he got blitzed and powered down to the ground inside the 5-yard line. Chandler Harnish had no time to get rid of that football. Vontez Burfict, a linebacker, a rookie from Arizona State, came blitzing through that time. And man, that play unfolded so quickly. Harnish had no time to react. And the Colts will have to punt it away on 4th down from their own 4-yard line. And Pat McAfee doesn't have much room back there at the back of the end zone to punt this one away.
Not as much room as he'd like. Punter's like 15 yards from line of scrimmage to punt the ball. Pat only had 13.
How about this kick by McAfee, though? He drives Hawkins all the way back to the 35. There is a flag down. Hawkins tries to go sideways, and he is buried. And a nice stop by Mario Addison, second-year player out of Troy. So a good play a good punt by McAfee, a great punt, actually. And let's see what that flag is all about.
Holding on the return team, number 82. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
And that's the wide receiver Marvin Jones, who was guilty party there. Helps the Colts out a little bit. And we have a timeout on the field. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. There you see Andrew Luck. His night's work finished after the first series of this ball game, and the Bengals are leading Indianapolis 10-0. You know, H.H. Gregg helps you save 3 ways at our Labor Day sale. Get up to 25% off appliances and TVs, plus an extra 5% off with an H.H. Gregg card, plus 24 months no interest. H.H. Gregg and hhgregg.com. We help. Here we go. Boom Herron in the backfield. That's Daniel Herron for those uninitiated to the Ohio State Buckeyes a year ago. Little dump-off pass from Gradkowski goes to Mohamed Sanu. And Sanu is able to pick up a solid amount of yardage on the play, although the Colts come up nicely and stop it with Moses Fuku, an inside linebacker, 4th-year player out of Maryland, in on the tackle after a gain of 6.
This game is not going the way the Colts wanted it to today. 10 points putting up, you know, by the Bengals offense. Colts are 0 for 4 on 3rd down. Just not going good.
Nope, and a lot of plays by Cincinnati's offense. Indianapolis can't get them stopped. This time they do, but it's just shy of a 1st down at the 35-yard line. Justin Hickman comes up and makes the stop on the play, but it'll be 3rd down and short as we look at a replay.
I'll tell you what, you know, last week the Colts gave up 114 yards to Alfred Morris. The Washington Redskins gave up 146 yards total. Didn't run the ball well themselves, and today it just continues. We've only got 3 yards rushing on offense and given up 60 yards rushing so far. So, you know, one of those focus areas for Coach Pagano just doesn't seem to be panning out.
3rd down and 1 for Cincinnati. Gradkowski hands the ball off, and it's going to be close.
Don't think you got it.
I don't think so either. We'll watch and see. Drake Nevis was into the stop. And Herron trying to find a 1st down yardage, could not. And it's 4th down and 1, and the Colts have forced a punt. So a nice job by the defense this time. Kevin Huber is in to do the punting. LaVon Brazil is back deep for Indianapolis. And the left-footed kicker, not his best kick by any stretch. LaVon Brazil came up, receives it, goes down quickly, but just at the 31-yard line. Vontez Burfict again on the tackle for Cincinnati. Well, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. To see how much you could save, call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com. Indianapolis trailing the Cincinnati Bengals 10-0. A couple of youngsters enjoying their night here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Roof is open, and it's a beautiful evening in Indianapolis. Chandler Harnish comes back into the ball game to go to work. believe they've called timeout, so we got a couple of seconds here as we continue our coverage of this preseason, the fourth preseason game. The Colts coming in at 1-2. The Bengals were 2-1. Indianapolis has never put an emphasis, at least to the point of, boy, you got to win these preseason games. And Jim, even though Coach Pagano started out the first ball game and said, man, these are important for us just to get our confidence and all those kinds of things, the wins still haven't come.
Yeah, but you look at the preseason games. The first game against St. Louis, I mean, we beat them 38-3. We ended up winning that game, played solid. You know, every phase of the game, offense, defense, special teams. You look at the second week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know, we were competitive. We lose that game on a last-second field goal, 26-24. Even last week against Washington, we lose the game 30-17, but we were competitive throughout the whole game. This is really the first time I've actually seen us, you know, really not be all that competitive on the field, and it's kind of surprising, you know, with all these young guys on this roster trying to make this team.
And sometimes it becomes a cohesion thing, too, with guys that haven't played together that much and those kinds of things. And that's a part of it as you take a look there at the first 8 games of the season for Indianapolis. And, of course, they start on the road at Chicago to take on the Bears on September the 9th. Minnesota, Jacksonville, Green Bay, the Jets, Cleveland, Tennessee, Miami. All very important ball games to start this season. And
a lot of young quarterbacks on those teams.
Yes, sir. None younger than Andrew Luck, of course, who will get the first start of his professional career officially against the Bears. Here is Darren Evans once again, and this time a nice hole on the right side. Carries for about 7. T.J. Heath finally puts him down for Cincinnati.
So that's a good job on first down. First down, you go out there, you get 7 yards. You leave 2nd and 3. Now you can take a shot down the field here if you want to try for a big play. You know, come back stuff 3rd and 3. You know, if you want to run the ball, you want to throw the ball, you can do anything you want to do right now.
Indianapolis using a fullback in the ball game right now. I think that is Dominic Jones, who also is a tight end of this football team. And Darren Evans tries to use the stiff arm, and this time, no go. He gets knocked down over there right about the 35-yard line. Jeremy Miles came up and made the stop on the play. So Indianapolis will lose about 3 on this particular play back to the 35.
I'll tell you what, the Colts came out in this series 3 tight end set, one of the tight ends being in the backfield. Down 10-0. My whole tenure here, we would have never came out in a 3 tight end set to try to, you know, get the ball rolling. We would have came out in 5 wides rather than 3 tight end set.
Third down conversions brought to you by Huntington. Welcome to the bank that's passionate about doing the right thing. Huntington, the official bank of the Colts, on 3rd and 6. Chandler Harnish tried to pass the football. I'm not sure if it was deflected or somebody caught his arm, but it never got to Jeremy Ross. And that'll bring up 4th down for Indianapolis. And Pat McAfee's back on the field to punt it away. McAfee getting a lot of work tonight, as Andrew Hawkins is back deep for Cincinnati.
I'll tell you what, though, Pat McAfee does a great job. You know,
he does.
I think he set the franchise record last year for net yardage with 46 yards a punt. You know, beating out Ron Stark from back in 1985, I believe it was.
He's tremendous. He really is. Kid's got a great leg, and he uses it on kickoffs. And of course, he practices field goals from about 60 yards out as the flag comes down there. And he's a character on top of that.
Yeah, he's got a great personality. He brings a great love for the game. I mean, I remember seeing him on the news this past week after last week's game, heading down to Camp Atterbury to visit the troops and going through what they do and shooting the gun out of the tank. And you know, he just has a great attitude toward the game, and he brings it. You know, it's his livelihood. He knows it. He's the same way off the field, and he just does a great job for us.
On the return team, number 30, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Cedric Pierman gets called for an illegal block in the back as the ball now is moved back inside the, well, all the way back to what, the 4-yard line, about the 5 actually.
Yeah, no hiding that one. He did it blatantly in front of the refs.
So Cincinnati will start deep in their own territory. You know, you can enter for your chance to win a Colts prize package, including game tickets and dining for 4 plus more. Your dream is out there. Go get it. American Family Insurance will protect it. Visit amfam.com/Colts to enter today. Here's Gradkowski throwing it out here in the flat. And Mohamed Sanu trying to find running room as he gets it across the 10-yard line out to about the 11. Colts fans are invited to gather on the north side of Lucas Oil Stadium for the new American Family Fan Zone, a pregame party area for fans of all ages. Your dream is out there. Go get it. American Family Insurance will protect it. So Cincinnati has the football, second down and about 4. As they pick up some needed yardage to get out of deep in their own territory, and now have some room to work as Gradkowski continues to work here in the first half for Cincinnati.
I don't believe we've had a turnover yet today. It would be nice to get one right now.
This would be the spot for it. This is Heron once again getting a lot of work in this ball game, and he finds maybe a yard in this play, not much more than that. We'll take a look at the replay here as the Colts defense does a nice job of stiffening and clogging up the hole there on the left side.
Yeah, just taking away the gaps, nowhere to go. Only a short gain of 1 yard, leaves up third and 3, third and short.
Gradkowski has done all of the work since the initial series of the game for Cincinnati. Andy Dalton bruised his arm on that first series and went out of the ball game. Didn't look like he was seriously hurt in any way, shape, or form. And here's a great defensive play by the Colts, and Mario Harvey comes up with a beautiful play from that inside linebacker position.
I'll tell you, the Colts go to the nickel package right here and take in both inside linebackers and put them right in the A gap. And they, you know, Cincinnati tries to run the ball with them right up there, and Mario Harvey just does a good job of shooting that A gap and hitting the ball carrier in the backfield.
Kevin Huber will punt it out of the end zone for Cincinnati. Back deep is Levon Brazil for Indianapolis. And Brazil going to try and run this one back as he caught it to 45. Well, he got spun around and went down hard right at the 45-yard line. So it'll be Indianapolis football as play resumes here in just a moment. You know, the Colts share your love and passion for high school football and are proud to bring you My Indiana Football, presented by Herff Jones. Find great info about high school football across the state. Visit Colts.com/MyIndianaFootball today, presented by Herff Jones. Indianapolis 1st and 10 on 45-yard line.
See wide receiver Chris Adams over here, spread out to the right. He's had a great camp, you know, lights out in camp, but really just hasn't shown it in the game. You want to see it in the game action.
Here's a throw down the middle of the field. Nice catch made there by the Colts tight end Andre Smith, who hasn't seen a lot of playing time either. A 6'5" second-year player out of Virginia Tech. Picked up off waivers from Chicago. Dan Scooter was the man who made the tackle.
Yeah, this is another guy trying to make this team. You got to think second and third round pick. Kobe Fleener and Dwayne Allen, you know, got solid roster spots. Dominic Jones, number 46, has usually been the Colts tight end / fullback, and then Andre Smith trying to make a name for himself.
And how about Chris Adams? Just made the catch. We talked about what he's done in the preseason as far as practice is concerned, but in games, it just hasn't had many opportunities. And there he goes and makes a huge play for the Colts down at the 7-yard line.
Yeah, this is what the Colts have been saying. He goes up, he makes plays, he gets the ball out of the air, and he must be able to hear me in his helmet. Otherwise, I don't know what's going on.
Great catch there by Adams. Here's the give, and right up the middle, touchdown from Deji Kareem. Big hole on the left side, and all of a sudden the offense takes off. 2 plays in the same drive, and Adams makes one, Kareem makes the other, and the Colts are on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you see the Colts here. They just, you know, they line up in that bunch set to the right, and they pull the tight end, and they pull the right guard around, and just lead Deji Kareem. He follows him right into the end zone.
So Indianapolis very quickly on the scoreboard on 2 big plays. And now Adam Vinatieri gets his first opportunity of this ball game on the field for the first time. Pat McAfee will hold. And Adam Vinatieri knocks this one through with no problem, and Indianapolis has a 10-7 ball game to work with now as they get right back into it.
There's that bunch set to the left, and you see they pulled number 46, Dominique Jones, and then they pulled number, I think 62, and they just make a hole big enough to drive a truck through, and he just fouls it right into the end zone.
A.Q. Shipley is the man you spoke of, number 62 there, helping out on the blocks. And the Citizens Energy Group scoring recap there. 3 plays, 55 yards. Kareem on the touchdown, but set up by Chris Adams. Beautiful catch from Chandler Harnish.
Yeah, and you'd like to see the Colts go downfield, kind of loosen that Cincinnati defense up, and be able to run the ball a little bit better. You haven't seen that yet this game. And this Cincinnati outfit, they're a pressure defense. They like to get pressure with the front four, but they will bring their linebackers or secondary to try to get that quarterback and get some hits on the running back in the backfield. That's why those shots downfield, even if they're not completed, they loosen that defense up a little bit.
Colts fans enjoying the fact that their ball club gets its first score of the night and is back in this contest. Doesn't take long to get everybody excited again, and obviously that couple of plays right there did exactly that. Cedric Pierman is back deep. Pat McAfee will kick off for Indianapolis. Pierman in the end zone. He's going to bring it out. And finds a hole up the middle, and he crosses the 20-yard line before he is knocked down right around the 24 as Mario Addison on special teams comes up and makes the tackle. Well, 1 year supply of Blue Bell ice cream and a pair of sideline seats for the Colts home opener with the Vikings. And you can register now at Colts.com/Blue Bell. Blue Bell is a proud sponsor of your Indianapolis Colts. Fans waving the fans back home as Indianapolis goes back to work on defense now. Daniel Herron stays in at running back for Cincinnati. Bruce Gradkowski has come into quarterback since the very first series of the game for the Bengals. Little dump pass here to Herron. Flag goes down as he gets belted and knocked to the ground with a big hit by Moses Foku, the inside linebacker, 4th-year player out of Maryland. Picked up in a trade with Philadelphia.
Holding. Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Trevor Robinson guilty there for Cincinnati of a hold. And so that's going to negate that play completely, and they'll move it back inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, you'll see right here, Cincinnati puts 3 receivers to the left and just throws a screen to the right. Moses Foku says, no way, I'm going to knock him on his butt. Got the holding call. Repeat first down at a 1st and 20.
So the ball back inside the 15 at the 13-yard line of the Bengals. And we're down to the 2-minute warning here in the second quarter. So we have timeout on the field. Indianapolis now trailing by just 3 at 10-7 here at Lucas Oil Stadium. And we'll be back with the final 2 minutes of the half. NFL.com fantasy football is as legit as fantasy gets. Enjoy free live scoring and instant video highlights. Go legit. Sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy. Right now, Cincinnati starting out at their own 13-yard line, 1st and 20. Gradkowski for Cincinnati at quarterback. Little dump throw down to the sideline. It was caught, pulled in by Marvin Jones. Jones with the catch there right around the 17. So they'll pick up about 4 yards on the play, 3 yards. Another timeout is called, this time by Indianapolis. So the Colts are going to try and have as much of that 2-minute clock left that they can get if, in fact, they can keep Cincinnati contained down here.
Yeah, real good job by the coaching staff, and I agree with it. Why not? Why not try to get the ball back and go down and get a big drive to go into halftime with the lead?
Or a field goal to tie this thing.
Or a field goal to tie.
We'll take a look here, and they may challenge whether this was a catch or not. Let's take a look here if we can get a look at it.
All challenges every 2 minutes got to come from the booth.
Yeah, that's a little suspect, but hard to know.
Yeah, not enough really to overturn it, though.
Doesn't look like it either. And they're going back to work. Apparently the booth says not enough, we can't tell. And here's a flag, however, on the snap of the football.
Bengals offense imploding a little bit here.
False start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So Cincinnati continues to make some mistakes here that are costly. They move the football back inside the 15 to the 12-yard line now. And it becomes second down and 21.
Colts are in the prevent defense. They got DJ Johnson, Cassius Vaughn out there at the corners. They bring Brandon King in as the nickel linebacker.
Here's Gradkowski. And that ball deflected over there. I think Boku got a hand on it, or at least a fingernail. He looks like he was kind of ticked that he didn't pull it in, but that would not have been easy.
The Colts right here playing a little zone coverage. Foku does a great job reading the quarterback's eyes and kind of getting under that hook route before they can get it by him and complete it.
I think Moses thought he had a chance at picking that bad boy off.
Oh, God, it was close, too. Nobody between him and the end zone either.
Third down and 21 for Cincinnati. Clock, of course, stopped because of the incompletion.
Screen or draw on 3rd and long.
Hand off to Herron. And Herron goes nowhere. The Colts are going to get the football back in great field position after this punt. Well, what you would assume would be good field position. And timeout called by Indianapolis to preserve as much of that clock as they possibly can.
See, that's why that incomplete, that pass that Foku got his hands on was a little bit questionable, because if you run the ball there, the clock's running, and they got to call another. Colts got to call another timeout, which would leave them with no timeouts. But it's one of those things where if you complete it, you get closer to a first down, and you can run the clock out.
Well, Colts win, you win. Get 50% off your regular menu price online order the day after the Colts win. Log on to papajohns.com and enter promo code COLTS50. Well, we've got a punt coming from Indianapolis. Colts will have plenty of time to work with, and a 2-minute drill here at the end of the first half. And the punt by Kevin Huber out of the end zone. Very high. LeVon Brazil on the return. Has no place to go. Goes out of bounds right around the 44-yard line of Indianapolis. But that's great field position for Indianapolis to start this drive. And like I said, 1 minute 38 seconds on the clock. That's all day in the NFL.
Yeah, plenty of time. One timeout. And I believe the last drive that they scored in such a hurry was only 3 plays, and they started at the same field position, I believe.
There you see a shot of the Colts bench. Greg Nevis, who's been very active here in preseason games. Number 94.
Key is to get a completion and get this drive going.
Chandler Harnish at the controls at quarterback. Harnish this time pulls it down and runs with it. Slides his way almost to the 49-yard line. A flag comes down late. And this might be a late hit. Vontez Burfict, the linebacker from Arizona State, came up and made the stop.
As a former quarterback, you know I love this call. I mean, Chandler Harnish definitely giving himself up, starting his slide, and 3 Cincinnati Bengals hit him.
So we're going to see the officials here dissect what happened there, and here comes the call, or it will be momentarily.
Personal foul.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 43. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
George Iloka is the guilty party for Cincinnati. At least he's one of the 3 guys that Jim pointed out.
Yeah, there's a couple of them down there. You'll see a good job by Harnish. Nothing down the field. Gets his eyes downfield. He's definitely starting his slide right there before 3 Cincinnati Bengals hit him up. But, you know, big mistake by the defense. Gives us 15 free yards, and, you know, off we are and running. Football's at the 36 now, Cincinnati. Harnish goes back to work. Chandler hands it off. This time it goes to Deji. Kareem, big hole left side. Kareem driving for the end zone as a flag comes down. I think they're going to get our wide receiver Chris Adams on a hold. He took it all the way down to about the 3-yard line, but it does look like there may be a holding violation against Indianapolis. This was a great call by offense coordinator Bruce Arians. Just see, you know, the Bengals bringing pressure from the strong side, and, you know, most offensive coordinators like to run away from that. He runs away from it, gets a big gain. Unfortunately, a penalty.
Yeah, Deji Kareem did a great job that time. There you see Chuck Pagano looking on, wondering what the play will do.
Personal foul.
Negated.
Face mask number 46 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. Still first down.
Wow, a face mask called against Dominic Jones. Well, we don't see it there by any stretch. Yeah, I couldn't pick it up, but
yeah, I don't know.
Now I see Dominic there. Yeah, it took off on the right side there. Dominic Jones was the guilty party, so now it's first down back at the 41. Throw by Harnish. Another great grab by Chris Adams. What a pull in by Adams once again. His second terrific catch on the last two series.
I'd love to see the kid come into play, especially with the lights on. Fourth preseason game. Good for him.
Ball at the 18-yard line. He's had very few thrown to him as Harnish stops the clock by grounding the football with 1:01 to go. We're going to take a look at it one more time here, but what a grab by Chris Adams.
Yeah, this is a great throw by Chandler Harnish, too. He throws it on the back shoulder. You know, Chris Adams, he recognizes it, comes back for the ball. You know, you get one-on-one coverage over there. Chris Adams is your best option. Go to him every time.
Adams is a big receiver at 6'3", first year out of Utah. And that's second down for Indianapolis, or first down, I should say. Here's Harnish. Actually, it is second down. Here's Adams again. Does he take the catch? They're going to say no. Chris Adams begging the officials there, but apparently didn't get his hands under the ball in time. We'll take another look at it.
Man, they're going to just run a skinny post here. You see the corner's got outside leverage. He's just going to stick them and come. You just wish Chandler could get that throw up just a little bit, but definitely one he would want back.
Yeah.
Close, yeah.
It was close, but he did not have it. He couldn't pull it in. Well, Adams is making a quick name for himself in this ball game. He obviously has done it with the coaches, the coaching staff throughout preseason camp, but not in preseason games up until tonight.
He's finally showing the fans what everybody's been talking about. But that route he ran there actually was called, when I was playing for the Colts, a money route. It was actually a slant, and then you stick him to the corner, and then you come back on the post. Marv's caught many a touchdown. Just if we get another replay and bring it just a little bit sooner, I'll show you what I mean. But Marvin Harrison caught many touchdowns while I was here with that exact same route.
And we'll see it one more time right here. Not the full route, however.
Nope.
But Adams obviously playing extremely well in this last two series here.
You see it slant, stick to the corner, and then come back on a post. He really didn't give it, you know, the timing it needs, but still ran a great route, got open, and Chandler needs to put that one on him.
55 seconds remain here in the half. Colts, well, they're reviewing this thing. I think they're taking a look to see if it was a catch, but I think we could see that it was not.
Maybe we'll get one wrong.
That'd be good.
That'd be good.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Incomplete pass. Third down.
Yeah, we'll take one more look at it, but it was pretty obvious that the ball was not caught. Ball hit the ground after he actually had his hands on it for just a fraction of a second, and then it got loose.
Put up a great argument, though.
So third down for Indianapolis. Football resting at the 18-yard line of Cincinnati. Harnish in the shotgun. Goes right over the middle to Adams again, and this time it's batted away. And another flag comes down, however, and this may be pass interference. And Adams got shaken up on the play. Chris Lewis Harris apparently was the guilty party.
You're going to get a hit to the head on a defensive player right here. God, that's just not right.
He sure did. Oh, man. Helmet to helmet contact. And Adams stays down. He's being attended to. Oh boy. Caught him right in the face mask, and that was not, I mean, that's just, you can't do that. You can't leave with your head.
Yeah, let's hope he's all right.
There you see Marvin Lewis. Seen a lot of flags in this game. I'm not sure what the number is totally, but we've seen a bunch. Chris Adams is coming off the field, and just hope that he's fine.
Chris Adams is tall, 6'3", but
There are
not
two
a
fouls
very
on the
stout receiver.
Personal foul. Defense, number 43. That penalty's declined. Pass interference. Defense. Number 37. It's first down at the 1-yard line.
So Iloka was the guilty party on the hit. Chris Lewis Harris was the guilty party on pass interference.
And you can see it there on replay. He kind of reaches around and grabs him by the waist, but the cornerback does before he takes the hit to the head.
Darren Evans is the running back. And Chandler Harnish hands it off to him, and Darren cuts it to the outside and takes it in the end zone. And the Colts score with 45 seconds to go in the half as they take the lead from Cincinnati. We'll take another look here. But just a well-executed play, and Darren Evans stretches it out and easily gets into the end zone.
Does a good job getting the corner and just beating those linebackers and defensive line with speed. Great job, great drive, and it all started from the Colts coaching staff calling those timeouts when we were on defense. You like to see it when it all comes together.
So Indianapolis takes the lead over Cincinnati. Vinatieri will try to add the extra point here. And knocks it through, and Indianapolis now leads it 14-10 with 45 seconds to go in the half. So the Colts all of a sudden have come alive offensively.
Just pure speed right there, just beat them to the corner.
Darren Evans getting his second touchdown of the preseason. And let's take a look. Citizens Energy Group presents the scoring recap. This one, the previous drive was just 3 plays. This one took just 5, Jim.
It's going quickly.
All of a sudden, the offense has really gotten energized. And Chandler Harnish doing another good job tonight. I don't know what the Colts are going to do in that quarterback situation. Do you keep 3 at this point, would you think?
I don't know. I'm wondering if they, only gave Drew Stanton a series here because they wanted to throw Chandler Harnish out there and see if he could, jump up and win that backup quarterback spot. And then, you release Drew Stanton. If he doesn't, and I feel like if the Colts feel like they need a veteran backup, I think Chandler Harnish has done a fantastic job this preseason. I think he's at least earned a roster spot, and if not a roster spot, a spot on the practice squad. Maybe a year or 2 down the road, he can jump up and grab that backup spot behind Andrew Luck.
And of course, to get on that practice squad, he's got to clear waivers, so somebody could pick him off.
Yeah, that's not a guarantee the way he's playing.
Here's Pearman bringing it out for Cincinnati. And he breaks a tackle, breaks it outside. One of the few times anybody for the opposing team has been able to run back anything in a significant way against the Colts special teams. That's, I think, Jim, one of the real improvements of this football program has been the special teams.
Yeah, it really has. We haven't had to talk a lot about them just because of the fact they've done so well. But, right there, it just looks like the Colts kind of relaxed a little bit. They score, they go up 14-10. It just looked like the kickoff team just kind of, was going through the motions and just jogging down the field. And that's kind of why I like the preseason, because most teams take a shot and run that ball out of the end zone.
Actually, they've called timeout on the field right now. I think it'll be it's an injury timeout. And one of the Colts is shaken up here on the near sideline. Looks to me like it's Mike Newton. Yeah, it is the safety, the second-year player out of Buffalo, who's being attended to by the trainer. And doctor's out taking a look at him as well. So Mike Newton getting up, being helped up. And whatever the injury is, he'll be coming off here. We'll call Jonathan Bird's Catering for all of your catering needs at 317-881-8888. Catering by Jonathan Bird's. Feast, friends, fun. Cincinnati with the football at their own 34-yard line and 36 seconds left here in the half. Let's see what they try to do. Bruce Gradkowski is the man at quarterback for Cincinnati. He's quarterback since Dalton left in the early going of this ball game. He goes to work, avoids a tackle, throws it to Daniel Herron. Herron finally brought down after picking up 9 yards in the play out to the 44, or 43, I should say. And Cincinnati here takes a flag goes down.
15 yards, automatic first down.
Personal foul against Indianapolis. Drake Nevis is the guilty party.
Yeah, I didn't really see too much there. I was kind of watching the rush the whole time and the quarterback, and he looked like he stepped up in the pocket, got rid of the ball, and just got hit as he was releasing the ball. But that's a tough call against our defensive line.
So the football goes to the 42 of Indianapolis, and Cincinnati has a chance here to maybe put points on the board before the half comes to a close.
But these are situations defensive linemen and linebackers love, because they could just rush the quarterback. They know they got to throw the ball. This is where, I want to see Jerry Hughes get a sack.
And here comes pressure. Gradkowski trying to find his way, and he goes down. Nice job there, and I think it's Mario, or maybe Drake Nevis comes up and makes the tackle. So Nevis gets a little bit of redemption there with that stop. Cincinnati calls timeout again to stop the clock.
Yeah, you'll see here the Colts bring the nickelback off the slot and their middle linebacker, Foku, and they just do a good job. Gradkowski has nowhere to go with the ball. The rush just gets to him before he has any chance.
So a nice job by the Colts. They drop him for a loss back at the 46. And the clock is stopped with 21 seconds left.
That's another nice thing to see. Greg Minuski, new defensive coordinator, was at San Francisco and then San Diego. He likes to bring pressure. In the years past, you would have never seen us blitz on first down in a 2-minute drill.
Pearman and Herron are both in the backfield with Gradkowski.
See here, the Colts are showing pressure from the right, and they're going to bring it from the left.
And Gradkowski, wanting to throw, fires it over the middle, catch is made, first down. Football stays in Cincinnati's possession, and they now have it in field goal range, but a flag has come down. Cassius Vaughn made the stop on the play.
I saw a hold on number 30 for the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's see if I'm right.
That would be Pearman out of the backfield. Officials talking it over here. Bengals are standing around and kind of acting like it might be against them. We'll see. Officials take a lot of time to figure it out, though. No, maybe not.
Maybe not.
They're picking up the flag. The referee is going to tell us.
Legal hands to the face. Number 26 defense. Penalties decline. Play results in a first down.
Okay. So the illegal hands called on Jermail Hines. And first down for the Cincinnati Bengals at the 30-yard line.
I actually think Hines was the guy that actually blitzed on the play. I'm not really sure how he could get illegal hands to the face.
Don't know. That's what they called replacement officials.
I'll tell you what.
Here's the snap. Gradkowski goes to work again and goes deep and almost a pick. Nice job defensively that time by Joe LaFage, who got his hands on the ball, but it batted up in the air. But it is incomplete, and we're down to 7 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, you'll see Gradkowski breaks contain here, just kind of, lofts one to the end zone. LaFage does a nice job from a center field position, that single safety in the middle coming over, almost getting the interception, but at least batting it down and getting an incompletion.
It's going to give Cincinnati an opportunity for a long field goal here. This will come from 48 yards out. And Mike Nugent, plenty of leg and that body to get it through the uprights. Here comes the kick. He's got plenty of leg into it. It's a beautiful kick right down the middle of the uprights. But Indianapolis will retain the lead. as they'll go to the locker room at halftime. Just 2 seconds left here as Indianapolis leads it 14-13. Marvin Lewis pretty happy about the fact that they were able to get points on the board before the half came to a close and make this a 1-point ball game. But the Bengals led most of this first half until the last couple of series that the Colts got their hands on the football, and then Chandler Hardish and Chris Adams went to work. Aaron Evans scored the lead go-ahead touchdown, but it was a lot of work by Adams that allowed them to get those 2 scores.
Yeah, big plays by the Colts on quick scoring drives, allow them to take the lead, and then, you know, kind of momentum shift. Cincinnati had all the momentum first quarter, beginning of the second quarter, and the last half of this quarter, we kind of just stole it right back.
Let's take a look at the Citizens Energy Group scoring recap of that Cincinnati field goal. There you see a 5-play, 28-yard drive. 43 seconds is all it took. Lots of happenings here in the last 2 minutes of this first half.
I know, pretty good job by, helped out by defensive penalties, but pretty good job by Cincinnati's offense with, 40, 50 seconds left after the Colts score to drive down and get a field goal to get this game within a field goal.
Mike Nugent will kick things off here. Colts send out, I think it's Deji Kareem back there to receive, but this is a kick that was well short, and they were just booting it downfield, a pooch-type kick to make sure that nothing could be returned on the play. And so let's go down to the sidelines and let's fly down with Jeffrey Gorman and Coach Pagano.
Thanks, Don Fisher. Coach, a tale of 2 quarters. The Colts came on late in the second quarter. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, it's like the last couple ball games. We got to learn to start faster. We're killing ourselves with, negative yardage plays, penalties, give up a run here or there, but then responded, came back with 2 nice drives, got 2 stops, flipped the field position is basically what we did by getting those 3 and outs. So that's why we're up by a point.
Preseason or regular season, you play to win the game, but this is a twofold. You got to find guys to fill out your roster. We saw a guy like Chris Adams separating himself.
Absolutely, and there'll be other guys come the second half, so we're looking for a great effort out of them to get this thing closed out and get the win.
Coach, best of luck in the second half. We are at Lucas Oil Stadium. The score, the Colts 14, the Cincinnati Bengals 13. Coming back with a look at the offensive line right after this.
Where you see the score at halftime, the Colts with a 1-point advantage over Cincinnati after the Bengals had the early lead in this ball game and held it until the last 5-6 minutes of the first half when the Colts finally caught fire offensively. And Chandler Hardish, of course, been doing most of the work, although Drew Stanton got in for 1 series. Andrew Luck was in for 1 series. But those 2 guys' work their night looks to be done, and Chandler's getting all the work here in the second half coming up. It would appear.
Yeah, he really has. I wonder if the Colts coaching staff really wants to see more Chandler Hardish. Maybe he's vying for that backup spot, and it's one of those things where you don't really know what the coaches are thinking until cut day's done and gone, and you have your team. But it's you go back to the things I mentioned before the game about what to focus on: get in, get out. You've seen the starters get in there, but minimal amount of plays. I don't think they accomplished what they wanted to, but they got him in, they got him out healthy. You're seeing some guys step up tonight. You've seen some running backs and some defensive backs and some wide receivers vying for those roster spots. And I really do think the second quarter, the Colts are, getting that confidence that I was talking about to lead them into that first regular season opener.
Jordan Brooks is the return man for Cincinnati, and he doesn't find any running room whatsoever once he gets it out to the 10-yard line, and he goes down right around the 12 or 13. And that's where the Bengals will take over. Let's see who comes on the field. The quarterback, Cincinnati, here in the second half. Bruce Gradkowski had done all of the work in the first half after Andy Dalton went out. He went out on the first series of the ball game. It's Zach Robinson, who's a second-year quarterback out of Oklahoma State. 6'3", 215 pounds, and he gets the workload here probably the rest of the way for Cincinnati. Here is Daniel Herron, the running back out of Ohio State, a rookie who's getting a lot of work here in this ball game, and he picks up about 6 yards on his first carry of the second half, make it 7, and it'll be second down 3.
As you mentioned, Zach Robinson in at quarterback from Oklahoma State, a free agent back in 2011, a guy who had a tremendous college career senior season. Has had a pretty good preseason, 10 of 15, 96 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. He's been sacked once, and his QBR isn't that great, 56.5 quarterback rating. So I'm sure he's looking to, have a solid performance and just solidify that third string spot.
Herron again carrying the ball for Cincinnati, picks up a couple as Drake Nevis comes up with a stop, second-year player out of LSU for Indianapolis. And it'll bring up third down now at about a yard. Herron is not the biggest running back in the world by any stretch of the imagination at 5'10", but he does weigh 215, so he's got some bulk in there, but not all that big a guy.
No, and you talk about a guy that needs a good game. I mean, he's got 10 carries in the preseason, only 13 yards for a 1.3 average. So, I'm sure he wants to go out there and show the coaches what he could do.
And Herron picks up the first down.
Great job of making the Colts miss right there by Daniel Herron. And again, poor tackling by the Colts. And you've seen it kind of spotty throughout the preseason games, but you've seen it a little bit more here tonight. Just, I'm sure it's the young guys in there, playing more and more this game, so it's a little bit more evident. But we're just missing tackles. We missed a tackle in the backfield, allowed them to get the first down, and that's just unacceptable leading into the regular season.
But ball resting at the 27-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bengals. Shaq Robinson working at quarterback. Directs a little traffic there as Herron goes out of the backfield now. And Robinson wants to go to the air and does so. And the catch is made to the near sideline. Almost a first down. Marcus Jones making the catch there. Or Marvin Jones, my apology. And Cassius Vaughn into the stop, but a 9-yard gain. So Cincinnati looking very much like they did in the early going of this contest when they were moving the football pretty easily, it seemed. Robert Mathis signing an autograph there. All the starters and knowing full well that they're done for the night. As Herron picks up a first down and then some extra yards to boot as he takes it across the 40-yard line.
As much as these guys love playing football, I mean, all the offseason work, training camp, preseason games, it can get a bit tedious, especially for these starters. Obviously a renewed kind of vigor for some of these guys, learning a new defense. In 10 days you're going to be suited up for what really counts.
Here's Herron again. This time he goes down after a couple at the 45. Moses Foku in on the tackle. Picked up from Philadelphia in a trade earlier in preseason. And it's second down now at about 8. It's your chance, too, to get single-game Colts tickets for selected home games. Go to Colts.com for more information. Wide receiver Ryan Whalen to the near side of your screen on the low side. The high side up there is Mohamed Sanu, who they're very high on. And Sanu, the intended receiver in this pass, it's thrown a bit high, but a flag comes down late. That may be a penalty against Indianapolis. Cassius Vaughn was involved on the coverage that time.
Holding. Defense number 20. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So Vaughn a little too aggressive that time in his defense of the receiver and grabbed a hold of him.
Yeah, let's take a look at this again. He might have had a little bit of jersey cut when Sanu's coming out of that break, but that's a ticky-tack foul to me. That's one of those, when you're throwing the ball, you love to get it, but when, as a Colts DB, you just hate those kind of calls because it takes away your aggressiveness as a football player.
Ball resting at the 50 now. Cincinnati possession. Zach Robinson into a shotgun formation. Quick throw. Nice catch made by Whalen. And he goes down. Another flag comes down late. And we'll see what that's all about. It looks to be against the Colts as well. And DJ Johnson was in there on the coverage. Boy, Joe LaFage is upset about something. He is really upset. And I think they're going to wave it off.
There's no flag on the play.
Yeah, LaFage was pleading his case, and apparently he was right.
And I'll tell you what, that was a good job coming together and getting that call right, because last play didn't look like a penalty to me, and that play doesn't look like. The receiver's not down yet. He's going to make the tackle.
So it's first down, however, for Cincinnati as they continue to move. And a really good tackle by Mario Addison. Addison comes in there this time, but Daniel Herron never got a chance to get going because he got him by the ankles and never let go.
Yeah, Mario Addison, just the outside linebacker in our base 3-4 defense, does a good job taking on the left tackle. He makes a great tackle right there on Herron. You know, got a shoestrings there now.
No question. Loses a couple of yards in the play. And it'll be second down and 12 now for Cincinnati. Robinson again lines up in the shotgun. And the throw complete. This is Mohamed Sanu with the catch. Goes down inside the 25-yard line, and he's got a first down.
I'm not really sure what happened here. It might have been a blown coverage or something, but you know, you see they blitz off of the slot there, and the receiver runs a hot route, but really no linebacker, you know, coming from inside out or safety coming down to cover the wide receiver, and just looked like maybe a mental error by one of those guys on our defense.
LaFage again came up to make the stop, but it's a first down for Cincinnati. Robinson this time wants to throw it, does throw it. Ball is caught. Nice job on the catch that time. Jermaine Gresham, the tight end, makes the grab over there, and Jermaine Hines on the stop for Indianapolis. Robinson did a good job of getting out of trouble.
Now, this is what they tell you. Kind of pump fake, get that outside linebacker up in the air so you can come underneath him. I really thought Jermaine Hines had a chance to rip that ball off for the interception.
But the ball resting at the 21 of the Bengals on the move here. Their first possession of the second half. And Herron gets the call. Doesn't find a lot of room. Moves the football inside the 20 to the 19. Jerry Hughes getting the tackle for Indianapolis.
Yeah, you see Jerry Hughes here just kind of beats the right tackle up the field and then comes back and makes the tackle before they can get too many yards. It's just a gain of 1 there.
Documented that Hughes has had a very good preseason for the Colts. That's third down. Colts fans want to stop here. Robinson goes to the air. That ball pulled in. Nice catch made. That was a tough catch. Made over there on the far sideline. Looked like Ryan Whalen made that catch, and Cassius Vaughn made the stop on the play, but that was just a really good grab.
Yeah, really great coverage actually on the outside. The Colts actually kind of go into a bracket type defense where, you know, they bracket the outside receiver and the inside receiver. Good coverage by Cassius Vaughn. He just kind of gets the ball in there, and good catch.
Is that Griff Whalen's brother? They both went to Stanford. Now, I didn't read anything on him at all, but I got a feeling that might be his brother. There's the throw out of the end zone by Robinson. I'll have to check that out.
He sure does catch the ball pretty good and get open.
He does.
So.
Problem is you don't get media guides anymore. You got to get those online, and then you got to print them out yourself, and that ain't happening.
In the preseason, there's so many players that it's hard to get all the information on all of them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You try to get the guys that are going to be in the game mostly. You try to know a little bit about everybody, and it kind of sometimes just leaves a little bit out.
He's not the brother, however, we have been told. So he's not Griff Whalen's brother.
That's good, because I would have been kind of disappointed in us to not knowing that.
Here's the run by Daniel Herron. Takes it to the sideline, gets shoved out of bounds. Brandon King was over there for Indianapolis to shove him out. Herron's been very active in this play tonight for Cincinnati, trying to make this ball club.
Yeah, this is a good job by the Colts defense, really stringing it out. And you see number 38, Mike Newton, kind of, you know, who was injured earlier in the game, kind of coming up there and pushing Daniel Herron out of bounds. And we'll get a third down here, but they can't get a first down inside the 1.
Ball resting right around the 7-yard line. Robinson takes the snap and wants to go in the air once again. He does so. And a nice tackle there on Herron out of the backfield right at the 5-yard line by Moses Fuku.
You know, they talk about players that kind of jump off the field at you. And Moses Foku has really done that for me. And I really thought Zach Robinson was a little late on that throw, getting the ball to the back on the check down. I feel like if he would have got it down a little sooner, he might have had a chance to get the first down. But that being said, he gets it to him late. Moses Foku says, no, you're going to catch the ball, but you're not going any farther than where you're catching it. Just puts him on his back.
So the Bengals will settle for a field goal here to try and take the lead back on 4th down. Mike Nugent will do the honors. And the boot comes from the 12, a 22-yarder. That's good. And that's a chip shot for guys like Nugent. And we've got Cincinnati on top of Indianapolis now 16-14 here in the 3rd. Work very hard on defense. They do get the stop in the sense of keeping Cincinnati from getting a touchdown, limit them to a field goal in that last possession, but the Bengals retake the lead. And Citizens Energy Group presents the scoring recap, and there you see it. Another very long drive by Cincinnati. Man, have they had possession time tonight, Jim. 8 minutes and 49 seconds on that last drive.
Yeah, they really have. That's a great job by your third-string quarterback, your third-string offense right there. 16 plays, 82 yards, just under 9 minutes. And I mean, that's a great job. But it's a good job by the Colts keeping them out of the end zone and making them kick the field goal.
A long kick that goes out of the end zone. Deji Kareem would have been trying to bring it out if he'd had the opportunity. He does not get it. We have time out of the field. We'll be back for the Colts' next possession right after this. The game is brought to you by Taco Bell, and here you have it. A guy named Mario Harvey.
Yeah, he just lines up in that A gap, which is the gap between the center and the guard. Shoots that gap, it just knocks Heron on his butt. Big hit.
And a great play by Mario Harvey. That's our Taco Bell crunch of the game. But let's go down to the Toyota Sideline Report with Jeffrey Gorman. And Jeffrey, you got a guest.
I do have a guest. One of my favorite Colts, one of the newest Colts. We're talking about Corey Redding, and what we were laughing about at the break was you could just tell you love to play football, and it's so tough for you to sit on the sidelines and watch your teammates.
It's very tough, but you know, I'm out there having fun with the guys. I'm coaching them because I see things on the sideline, but I felt like I ain't played ball in a long time, and I'm just so ready to play, man, with my new teammates and go out here and just have a good time in the stadium.
You'll be back and ready for the Chicago Bears in the regular season opener.
Oh, no question. That's the goal and that's the mindset. Right now it's all about getting healthy and going to Chicago and doing some great things and starting the first game off on the right note.
Chuck Pagano said you're a cornerstone of this defense, the new 3-4 here in Indianapolis. Talk about that a little bit and how that's going to bring some play to the field.
You know what, this system is great, and if you look in the past years, you see the stats. Stats don't lie. You know what I'm saying? So if everybody do their job, this defense is phenomenal. You can't drive it all the way down this field if everybody's on their point. So I come in, get everybody riled up, let them know what the defense is all about, and just go out there and have fun and make plays.
One of the best defensive players on the Colts, and you're going to see that this regular season. Talking to Corey Redding. Don Fisher, back to you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate it much. Corey Redding, of course, a pickup this year for Indianapolis, and a really good one if they can get him healthy again.
Yeah, the consummate pro. He came over from Baltimore with Coach Pagano. And talk about a big guy. Corey Redding, 6'4", 315 pounds, going into his 10th year out of Texas. And just was one of those guys from Baltimore that I'm glad we kind of stole him away.
Chandler Harnish going back to work, hands it off to Deji Kareem. Kareem trying very hard to find some running room that time. Picked up 4 tough yards as Jeremy Miles came up and made the hit on him and brought him down. Deji's had a couple of good runs in this ball game tonight and trying to win a spot on this team someplace, because the last couple of times in the end zone, he's been the guy to return kicks if you ever get that opportunity. And I think this is the first game in preseason we've seen Deji Kareem back there to receive kick returns. So he's trying some way to find his way in this ball club.
Yeah, you can tell the coaches are trying to find a position for him. You know, third running back, kick returner, punt returner, because you really just don't know how many guys you're going to keep at certain positions.
Right. Chandler Harnish there with a throw to Dominique Jones for the catch. Miles was right there to bring him down, and it's going to bring up 4th down for Indianapolis. So the Colts will have to punt it away, and we got the same kind of scenario we're seeing here in the second half as we saw in the first. Slow start for Indianapolis offensively, and the Bengals with long drives to get the lead.
But I do think if Pat gets into one right here and gets a good boot on the ball, we can pin him back deep in her end and then hopefully get a 3 and out. have them put and get the ball right around midfield, our 45-yard line, and put one of those drives together like we did late in the second half.
Marvin Jones is back deep to receive for Cincinnati. Good punt by McAfee. Back all the way to the 10-yard line goes Jones. Jones tries to find some running room, but again, good coverage by the Colts punt unit. And we've got timeout on the field once again with the Colts trailing Cincinnati 16-14. Back here in the third quarter in a moment. The Bengals leading Indianapolis with 3:31 left in the third quarter. Indiana University Health is proud to support the strength of the Indianapolis community through its partnership with the Indianapolis Colts. IU Health, expert physicians, nationally ranked care. Discover the strength at iuhealth.org. Well, the Bengals take over the football once again. They've got it at their own 23-yard line. Zach Robinson goes back to work at quarterback. Jordan Brooks is in the ball game now as a running back. And Robinson wants to go through the air. He goes to Brooks out of the backfield. And the Colts knock him out of bounds, but not before he picks up a solid gain on the play. And let's go down to the sideline with the Toyota sideline report, Jeffrey Gorman.
Well, thanks, Don Fisher. A familiar face, Andrew Luck, standing next to me. I'm going to talk about the flow of the game this preseason for you. You haven't played a full game. You played deep into the third quarter. Last game against Washington. This game was a series. Is that tough for you?
A little bit. Obviously wish we could have come out here and put points on the board and got more than a first down and done some more positive things. But I do understand the reasoning behind the ones really only playing a series or two. I think playing 3 quarters gave me a good sense of how a game's going to be. But I'm just excited. I'm excited for full game coming up next weekend and raring to go with these guys.
You could talk about your next 10 days, obviously preparing for Chicago.
Yeah, it's nice to have some extra days to prepare for the week to watch more film. Obviously a very formidable defense. It's going to be a great test for us, and try and get in the film room as much as I can, and lean on guys that have played him before, like Reggie. Drew Stanton was in the conference with him for 4 or 5 years, so try and pick the brains of as many guys as I can.
Lastly, Andrew, talk about your receiving corps. Some young faces, some old faces, and a group that really gets the job done.
No, absolutely. Obviously led by Reggie and Collie, and I think Donnie Avery is going to be a fan favorite this season, and Levon Brazil, T.Y. Hilton, Chris Adams, a lot of young guys have done a lot of good things.
Look forward to watching you against the Chicago Bears, Mr. Andrew Luck, joining me on the sidelines.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate it. Andrew Luck, one of the
I'm done with
really
for the next
promising rookies in this league coming up. And I think everybody that's watched this guy play in preseason thinks that he is the real deal based on his performances, and I don't think there's any doubt in the Colts' minds that he is the guy to succeed Peyton Manning.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind. And, if I miss my guess, I'm pretty sure he's gotten started on the Chicago Bears already. I remember playing with Peyton Manning. He used to take the 4th preseason game off to get 2 weeks of studying on our first regular season opponent. Now, Andrew didn't take the game off. He only played 1 series, but I'm pretty sure he has a pretty good idea what the Chicago Bears are going to throw at him.
And a first down throw there by Zach Robinson to Ryan Whalen, who makes the catch. Josh Gordy on the coverage for Indianapolis, but Cincinnati keeps the football as they move the chains once again. The football at the 35 now of the Bengals.
Speaking of regular season openers, it kind of gives teams time to put in that wrinkle, that's something new. And I remember when we played the Bears a few years back, Peyton didn't play at all in the preseason. Then he started the regular season. We played the Chicago Bears here, and they came out with a package we had never seen before and really stalemated us and ended up beating us in that year. We started the year 3-4 and ended up winning 9 straight, going 12-4. And one of the years Peyton won the MVP award. But you got to prepare for the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, especially early in the regular season.
And I don't think we've seen much from Indianapolis game plan wise against any of the preseason opponents.
No, I really don't think we saw too much against the Washington Redskins either. I think they probably were getting a head start on the Chicago Bears, kind of getting that film in when they could, just telling the guys, go out there, execute, run our offensive scheme, run our defensive scheme, but we're not going to game plan too much on our opponent in the preseason.
And very vanilla defensively for the most part. The Colts have done nothing tricky out there. They're just playing straight up football, and that's why there's a lot that could be expected in that first ball game against Chicago.
Yeah, especially defensively. I mean, we've been kind of vanilla. We brought pressure, obviously, more than we've shown in the past, but there's so much more that out of the base 3-4 that we can show and do, and I'm sure we'll see that in the first couple games.
And getting a couple of key people healthy again is a big factor there as a flag goes down on this play. The throw completed to James Devlin, a running back, the first-year player out of Brown. But we'll see what that flag is all about. We've seen more than our share of flags thrown tonight by this replacement crew. Not saying that they haven't done their job properly. We've just seen a lot of flags, period.
We really have. A couple questionable calls, a couple good calls. But, as a football fan, a spectator, I want to watch the game and let these players get into the flow of the game. All these flags stopping the clock just, allows players to just get cold and not really get a rhythm.
Formation, number 88 on the offense. 5-yard penalty will be enforced to start the fourth quarter.
As we come to a close here at the end of 3, and the Indianapolis Colts still trailing Cincinnati 16-14. 15 minutes of football remaining in this preseason. Stadium, we have 1 quarter of football remaining in this preseason. There you see the Bengals leading the Indianapolis Colts, and the O'Charlie's key offensive player tonight would be one Chris Adams.
I would expect nothing less. 2 catches, 55 yards. Finally got the opportunity to do it with the lights on in front of a crowd at Lucas Oil Stadium. We've been hearing about him all preseason and all camp, that he's been killing it out there and making people look bad. And hopefully he's impressed the coaches. He can make this team. And if he doesn't make this team, hopefully he gets picked up and he makes some other team.
Mario Addison makes the stop on that particular play as the Bengals remain in possession of the football. They've got second down at about 12 now. But Chris Adams has really had a good preseason in camp. Just didn't show it in games until tonight. Didn't have any opportunities really for the most part to show it in the previous games played. But tonight he made a couple of huge catches. And here's a bat down, a nice defensive play by the Colts there. And that was Moses Fuku, who's been in a lot of plays in this ball game this evening.
Yeah, like I said earlier, he just kind of popped off the screen at me today. And, you see it right there. He's had his hands on a couple balls. He's made a couple nice hits. And, he's really made the pressure on me tonight.
Third down and long now for the Bengals.
Really doesn't matter what I think, though, does it?
Doesn't matter what any of us think. It's those guys down on the sideline and up in the booth that are working this ball game as coaches that are going to make decisions. Here's a throw and a drop pass. The ball was in the hands of Vidal Hazelton, first-year player out of Cincinnati, but he could not hold on to it, and it's going to bring up fourth down in a punting situation for the Bengals.
You talk about Chris Adams and these young receivers, and really all of them have played pretty good. I mean, you look at Donnie Avery, he's a veteran. Didn't play the first 2 weeks, came out and had a relatively good game last week. Devon Brazil, T.Y. Hilton have played great. Jeremy Ross, when he's gotten in there, has played great. Griff Whalen played good. These coaches have some really tough decisions to make, and these guys are making it hard on them. It's tough on these coaches because they create bonds with these players. They create emotional ties, and all of them have said this is the toughest part about this business in this game, because you got to let go of guys you really have grown up a relationship with.
Colts will take over the football when we return with more action with just inside the fourth quarter. Stadium, where the drive of the game is sponsored by Tom Wood Lexus at 96th and Keystone, who invite you to test drive a Lexus today.
Here's a drive of the game. Doesn't take too long. 3 plays. First completion over the middle to tight end Andre Smith, and then a big completion down the right sideline to Chris Adams, his first of the day. And then you'll see the culmination of this drive right there. Nice job by the Colts offensive line making a hole, and a good job by
Deji
Kareem to punch it in that end zone.
So Indianapolis back in possession, and they're trying to get out of the deep in their own territory here. Jeremy Ross, the intended receiver on that play, but he could not get to the football, and it'll be incomplete, and they'll bring the football back way down there to the 1-yard line.
You got to love that call on the 1-yard line. Yeah. Take a shot.
Yep.
I remember I was at Wisconsin. We were playing Akron. We threw a 99-yard touchdown pass, and it was one of the greatest highlights of my career.
Well, let's go down to the field with Jeffrey Goldman for the Toyota Sideline Report.
Well, thank you, Don Fisher. Joining me now, Jarrell Freeman, linebacker, number 50. Obviously had a great preseason. You're from a college that I'm sorry I've never heard of. Tell me where it's from. Mary Hardin Baylor, and also talk about your rise to the NFL.
Yeah, Mary Hardin Baylor. It's a Division III college down in Central Texas. Actually, my president and vice president here at the game right now to come watch me. Yeah, man, it's a lot. I took the long, hard road to get here. You know, I had to go pay my dues in Canada and everything. So I mean, I'm here now and ready to do pull my load, man.
You're definitely a story of perseverance pays off, and you've been playing great this preseason. Ryan Grigson raves about you when he signed you, the general manager.
Oh, I didn't know he raved too much about it. Yeah. I mean, all I can do anytime I get out here is just show my work. You know, that's what everybody's doing out here in these preseason games. You know, a lot of guys went down. Like Big Corey, all those guys went down, and even Pat in my situation, to get on the field, make it hard for them to take us off.
Have they been helpful to you, Jarrell? Obviously, your first year here in the
Offense
NFL, the
number
veterans.
15.
Oh yeah,
After distance to the goal.
Good veteran group,
Still
good
third down.
leadership here, you know, good coaching staff. But this is a great organization to play for. So I mean, there's a lot of history here. So I'm happy to be here, definitely.
And lastly, you're trying to make this roster. Obviously, the cuts are coming up. That's something that's on a lot of guys' mind. But like I said, you really played your tail off this preseason. You looking forward to a regular season?
Oh, definitely, man. It's been a long, hard road to get here. I've been putting in work. Hopefully, I can make the team. Yeah.
Remember that number, Don Fisher, number 50, Jarrell Freeman.
Well, you could tell Jarrell, Jeffrey, that I know all about Mary Hardin Baylor. I had a son that went there his freshman year of college to play baseball. So I know exactly where Mary Hardin Baylor is at. It's just south of Waco, Texas. All right. There was a third down play by the Colts. They're unable to complete it. Now Pat McAfee again goes to the back of the end zone. And this time he's only got 10 yards to get this punt away. That is not much room.
Yeah, that was not a good drive by the Colts. 3 straight passes, 3 straight incompletions with a penalty mixed in there in the middle. And here comes Pat trying to get it off.
And Pike partially blocked. And it bounces down, takes a cold roll. And the Colts down the football right around the 25-yard line. But man, oh man. We're going to have to see what happened there. A flag did come down, so we'll have to wait here for a second. There is a flag down. Daniel Herron was involved there on the block, I guess. Got a hand on it.
Offsides. Defense, number 34.
Wow.
5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
There's a big break for the Colts because that ball blocked and would have been down at the 24-yard line of Indianapolis, and that's where Cincinnati would have taken over. But that penalty is going to give Indianapolis an opportunity for another punt, and McAfee will have the full 15 yards this time, or very close to it, to work with.
You know, we talk about, shining, popping up in front of the coaches, doing good, getting noticed. You can also get noticed the opposite way. And right there is one of those situations where you kind of get noticed. You got the Colts pinned back, you block the punt, and then you go offsides and give them another shot. It's just something the coach is not going to be happy with.
No, they're not. And Marvin Lewis was not very happy, as you can see. And here's Marvin Jones on the return. And Jones finds a little hole out there, carries it inside the 40-yard line, and that's where Cincinnati will take over. So not as good a field position as before, but still good field position for the Bengals when we return. Here at Lucas Oil Stadium, there you see the score here in the 4th quarter. Wick Sugar Cream Pie is the official pie of the Indianapolis Colts. Make sure you pick up a Wick Sugar Cream Pie today. Let's get out of the field. Jeffrey Gorman for the Toyota Sideline Report.
Well, Don Fisher, I am standing next to a gentleman that after he was drafted by the Colts, he had a chance to do a quick little photo shoot for a men's magazine called Gentleman's Quarterly. Kobe Fleener, talk about that.
It was a good time, great opportunity to do before the draft, and I had fun doing it.
I had to ask. I know we were talking about it at the break, but let's get down to some football. Through 4 preseason games, the tight end play has been pretty good between you and Dwayne Allen.
Well, I think we have a lot to clean up. Going into week 1, there's still some little things we need to work on, and we're learning as we go kind of deal. And so we're excited to get going with the regular season. Regular season opens in Chicago, right in your backyard where you grew up. Talk about that game in particular with family and friends there, and also your part in this Colts offense. Well, I've had the opportunity to play on Soldier Field, so it'll be a cool thing to come home and see all my family and friends in the stands, and hopefully we can get a lot of Colts blue out there as well.
Okay, lastly, talk about, have you had a little head start on people like Dwayne Allen and other tight ends on this roster, playing with Andrew Luck for as long as you did at Stanford?
Yeah, just a little one, but I think now with the time that Dwayne and Andrew have put in, and I think the other receivers with Andrew, it's pretty even at this point, and now we're all kind of moving upward in the same direction.
Colts tight end Kobe Fleener joining us here on the sidelines. Don Fisher.
Thank you, Jeffrey. As the Bengals pick up a first down, it looked like the Colts had him pinned back there, but another nice throw by Robinson and a good catch that time by Mohamed Sanu. And Cincinnati's got a 1st and 10 inside the 30-yard line.
Kobe Fleener done a nice job this preseason. He's had 4 catches, 38 yards coming into today, 1 catch for 8 yards today. Kind of quiet, you know. I'm sure they've been trying to work on his blocking, but I really expect him to be a down-the-middle threat for these Indianapolis Colts.
Daniel Herron on that last carry for Cincinnati. Foku again into the stop. Been in a very active linebacker tonight for Indianapolis. There you see a shot of Bruce Arians. Ball resting at the 26 now, 2nd down and about 9. Robinson gets pressure, finds Herron, and a nice defensive play by the Colts there, and a fumble, and I think the Colts have recovered. They have. How about this? Josh Gordy comes up with the recovery. Not quite sure who jarred the ball loose that time.
Great job by Moses Foku. He's the guy that gets there, makes a tackle, knocks the ball loose. He's been all over the field tonight, Don.
He has, and a great job there. And the ball picked up by Gordy, and the Colts come up with the football. So Indianapolis still very much in the hunt to win this ball game. 11 minutes, 9 seconds to go in this contest. And we have time out of the field. We'll be back right after these messages. Come to Denny's the day after a Colts victory from 6 to 10 a.m. and get a free Colts fan slam with the purchase of a beverage. Well, the fans here enjoying some action in the stands. And right now, let's go down to the sideline. Jeffrey Gorman has the Toyota sideline report.
Thanks, Don. Joining me now, cornerback Gerard Powers. Talk about this defense through 4 preseason games. Obviously, it's something new compared to what you've been playing the past previous years as a Colt.
A lot of fun, attacking defense that's going to give a lot of guys some opportunities to make plays. And when your opportunity comes, it's your job to make the play. They're going to put you in the best position. And it's been a good preseason, been a great preseason actually. Everybody's on the same page and learning this new system, and I think guys are ready to go coming in next week for Chicago.
Talk about the newest Colt, a guy that'll be playing opposite of you, Vontae Davis.
Just add another playmaker to the defense. We're a defense with some playmakers already established, and I think Vontae, with what he did in Miami and the career he had has been successful, and he's only going to come here and help us. He's a guy that can shut down any guy on the field, and it's going to be a lot of fun playing with a guy of his caliber.
I've seen you playing some man-on-man defense, something that I haven't seen out of you before playing in the Colts defense in years past, and you've been doing it quite well, Gerard.
It was something that I was used to coming in college, so it wasn't new to me. Just learning the terminology and the system was kind of the new thing. I knew as long as I get that down, the coverage will take care of itself. I'm definitely a guy that believes in my abilities and believe in the things that I can do on the football field. So, whatever the coaches ask me to do, I believe I can do it.
Lastly, if you could give us an Auburn preview.
Auburn will beat Clemson by 10 points this weekend in the Georgia Dome, and you can tell Cavell and Dwayne, anybody else that's a Clemson guy has connections. That's what's going to happen. I know Clemson ranked number 9, and it's going to be a great opportunity for SEC to show the ACC why we're best.
Famous Auburn alumnus Gerard Powers joining me on the sidelines. Colts cornerback, looking forward to the regular season opener. We'll be back from Lucas Oil Stadium after this.
After previous review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It was a catch and a fumble. First down.
And they reviewed the fumble, and they've confirmed that it was a fumble, and the play on the field, or the call on the field, stands. The Colts have the football, and it is 1st and 10 Indianapolis at their own 27-yard line. So our first turnover of the night, Deji Kareem is in at the running back spot. Chandler Harnish continues at the controls quarterback-wise. Hands it to Deji. And he is able to gain maybe a yard on the play as Micah Johnson came up, making the stop. First-year player out of Kentucky for Cincinnati. One of the things that we haven't touched on, the final cut down comes tomorrow. They'll be down to 53 players. But that may not be the look of the roster come 10 days after that for the Chicago game because of the waiver wire. We'll talk more about that in just a second here. Harnish going to the air, but he is not able to throw the football because he was caught in that backfield. And a really nice stop by Quinn Evans, another first-year player out of Kentucky. Take a look at the replay here, but there was no chance for Harnish this time.
Yeah, Colts left tackle Ty Nsekhe, who they're really high on. Just, you know, he's been kind of slow picking it up through training camp, stuff like that. Just keeps his feet bad on the outside, and Chandler Harnish really has no shot there.
Kashif Moore is down the ball game. They picked him up as well. Third down conversions brought to you by Huntington. Welcome to the bank that's passionate about doing the right thing. Huntington, the official bank of the Colts. Here's Chandler Harnish, and I think maybe he got it. Let's see where they're going to spot the football. Really good throw that time. Grant Hubert, or Hunter that is, comes up with the play. But that was the new face, Kashif Moore, who makes the reception. And they just got him from Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're going to go. The Colts are going to go 3 by 1 here. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And you see the tight end coming over there, suck the linebacker up. Kashif Moore is able to get behind him on a 16-yard in route. You know, he does a great job of getting to the sticks and getting enough for a first down on the throw, on the route. So the throw, you know, you can catch it and just, if he gets tackled, he still got the first down.
Big first down for the Colts there. Levon Brazil goes in motion. And here's a quick toss, and this is Jeremy Ross who makes the catch. Grant Hunter on the stop, but another nice play, a quick slant, and the Colts are moving the chains all of a sudden again. It's kind of like a reversal of the first half. Now's your chance to get single game Colts tickets for selected home games. Go to Colts.com for more information.
I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with number 14, Kashif Moore. He just cut by the Bengals last week, picked up by the Colts, and he's out there running plays and making running the plays and making catches. I mean, some guys it takes more than that to just pick up a few plays in the playbook.
How about this run by Deji Kareem? Another nice run, but a flag is down. And Kareem has had some impressive plays tonight.
Holding, offense number 60, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Yeah, that might have had something to do with the fact that he was able to make a move out there. Zane Taylor committed a hold. And so Indianapolis gets the ball moved back into their territory at about the 42. And so Indianapolis penalties tonight have been atrocious for both ball clubs. That's at least the 10th on the Colts. The Bengals have been called for at least 12. That's a lot of penalties in a ball game like this.
That's terrible. When I played, we wanted total of 5. Offense, defense, special teams all together, a total of 5. And, you know, even 5 we thought was a lot. But, I mean, right now 12 and 10 respectively, that's just way too much.
Yep. Levon Brazil makes the catch on a Harnish throw. Another flag comes down. TJ Heath is into the stop. It looks like this might be a face mask call. We'll see.
Tell you what, the refs are doing their due diligence, I'll tell you that.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 41, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wow. That's a big one there. Colts made a nice play on it, but Levon Brazil with a catch. Yeah, he just pulled him down by the face mask. There was no doubt about that one. So the penalty flags continue to fly. The Colts get a benefit there, and they've got the ball all the way down to the 36 of Cincinnati after the penalty. Fullback in there for Indianapolis this time, Dominique Jones. And Deji Kareem gets the handoff from his tailback spot, and this time he's got no place to go. Nice defensive play by the Bengals, and it looks like Vaughn Meatonga, a rookie out of Hawaii, is the man who makes the stop for the Bengals. Well, go legit with your fantasy football this season only on NFL.com with free live scoring and instant video highlights within seconds of the play action. Getting started is easy. You can sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy. Colts now with 2nd down and long yardage, 2nd and 16. Harnish finds the receiver Jones out of the backfield, and Dominic with a nice run after the catch. Still going. He breaks the tackle for the touchdown. And Dominic Jones, a rookie out of Shepherd College, with a terrific play for Indianapolis to take the lead back.
Big play by Indianapolis. You gotta love getting the lead. Middle of the halfway through the 4th quarter, taking the lead. You'll see it right here. Cincinnati chokes 2 of our receivers on the outside. They bring pressure from one of them, but there had to be a coverage issue. I don't know if it was 2-man, man underneath where the inside linebacker gets stuck inside, but great job finding the open receiver, and Dominic Jones just wouldn't go down. He does a great job sniffing out the end zone and giving the Colts the lead.
Look at Chandler Harnish run down the field. He's as excited as Dominic. And Dominic went and got the ball from the official and threw it to Reggie Wayne and said, "Keep that for me."
You know it's preseason. It's a big one for these guys.
Well, for a guy from Shepherd College, you know it is. Here's a fake extra point kick and a throw into the end zone. Jeremy Ross, the intended receiver, but he could not pull it in. And we'll take one more look at the touchdown here by Chandler Harnish. Throw to Dominic Jones. What a terrific run at the end of this play. And the Colts have taken the lead 20-16. Where Indianapolis has retaken the lead over Cincinnati here in the 4th quarter. Still 6:54 to go, and of course Citizens Energy Group presents the scoring recap, and there you see it as the Colts have retaken the lead. Nice drive, a great play at the end of that 42-yard pass play from Chandler Harnish to Dominic Jones. And McAfee will boot the football. Back deep is Cedric Pierman, 3rd-year player out of Virginia, to return. And this one's deep in the end zone, and they'll not run this thing out. It'll be brought out to the 20 on a touchback. And let's go down to the sideline, the Toyota Sideline Report with Jeffrey Gorman.
Well, thank you, Don. Joining me now, offensive tackle of the Colts. This is Winston Justice. You spent your whole career in Philadelphia. Now you're a Colt. Talk about so far so good. Training camp come and gone. 10 days to the regular season opener.
You know, I think right now I'm feeling good. I'm feeling healthy. You know, we still have a lot of things to get better at as a offensive line, and personally, I have a lot to get better at too. And you know, that's what this next 10 days is for.
Talk about playing in front of Andrew Luck and protecting the #1 overall draft pick in the recent draft.
You know what? He's a real confident guy, and for a rookie to come in and really, show us that confidence and that poise, really tells a lot. And I think he's going to have a really, really good season.
Well, you guys take pride in running the football and obviously keeping the quarterback clean. And running the football this preseason hasn't been great. It hasn't been bad. But what are you guys going to do to improve in the running game?
It starts in practice, and just doing it over and over again, I think the more we do it, the better we'll be at it. So it all starts in practice, and I think that's one of the things we're going to focus on.
Well, Winston, we enjoy you so far. I know you've been a few months here in Indianapolis. Overall, you got you and your family here. Do you like the city?
We like it. My wife likes it, and so if my wife likes it, I like it too. So it's good. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
A happy wife, a happy life. Don Fisher, back to you.
Thanks.
Winston is a smart man.
There's nothing not to like about Indianapolis.
That's true. There's no question about it.
But he's right.
Whether he likes it or not, it's not important. Colts fans, be sure to visit the Bud Light tailgate tent across the street just north of the stadium for pregame fun and $3 Bud Lights. Make the Bud Light tent your place before the game. Just 6:54 to go in this preseason as the Colts have taken the lead over Cincinnati 20-16, and now let's see if they can hang on to it. Zach Robinson goes to work quarterback-wise for Cincinnati. Bad snap from center, and let's see who's got the football. I think the Colts do. The Colts have recovered a bad snap from center. And who was on top of it? It looked like Winston Justice, believe it or not. So there is a big play for Indianapolis. Was it him? Winston was just at the sideline. I don't think so. James Iono is who recovered the football.
I was going to say, good job, Winston. Get out there.
Holy cow, how did he get out there that quick? All right.
2 turnovers the last 2 possessions for the Cincinnati Bengals have given the Colts great scoring opportunities. I mean, they're up 4 points right now. They can score a touchdown here, go up 11, and kind of put this game away.
That ball just inside the 20-yard line. Chandler Harnish goes to work. He hands it off. Darren Evans, and he fumbles the football. And I think George Iloka recovers it for Cincinnati. Gives it right back. So what looked to be a situation where the Colts were going to get a chance there. Now we got everybody shoving and pushing down there. We'll see how this all unfolds, but they've already ruled that the football is in the hands of Cincinnati.
Tempers are flaring. Well, these guys know each other well. I mean, the Colts and the Bengals have played each other 20 of the last 21 preseasons. You know, they're 110 miles from each other. I mean, right down I-74. I mean, these two teams are very acclimated with each other.
Let's go down to the sideline, the Toyota sideline report with Jeffrey Gorman.
Well, Don Fisher, a familiar face to Indiana as well as Notre Dame fans. This is Tom Zbikowski, one of the newest Colts. Talk about Chuck Pagano, talk about his defense, and when he came over here from Baltimore, he says, I need Zibby with me.
Yeah, you know, a pretty extensive scheme, a lot of calls, a lot of different things we do. Try and confuse the defense, more of a attack philosophy, and I think the guys here have really adapted to it and really grown to love it. It kind of fits their personality.
You're playing across from a Pro Bowler, Antoine Bethea, and you played across from a Pro Bowler with Ed Reed when you were in Baltimore. Do you see the similarities there, the importance of the safety position?
I mean, definitely. Antoine comes to hit you. You know, it's one of the biggest things I've noticed just in preseason. He's coming to hit you. He's a physical player. He can play through anything, and it's really helped my game out a lot the last couple of months.
Regular season opener against the Bears. Got to be chomping at the bit. Talk about that game.
Yeah, something that's you know, been marked on the calendar for quite some time. Want to just go out, start the season
Number 8
with you know,
10-yard penalty, go first down.
So what we've been working on.
Tom Zbikowski, fans know him from Notre Dame, and obviously now one of the newest Indianapolis Colts. Don?
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Well, big play by Cincinnati, gave them a first down, and then all of a sudden they committed another penalty. I mean, the penalties have just been horrific in this ball game for both teams. I'm sure that's the one thing that each of these coaches will address their respective ball clubs about, the number of penalties committed in this ball game tonight, and how unhappy they are about the sloppiness of a ball game like this at the end of the preseason. There's a ball batted up in the air and picked off by Cincinnati. It was not an interception. It was just batted up by the receiver and the defensive back. And then Sanu comes up with a reception for the Bengals. He actually had the other reception that they picked up a first down on. So he's had some nice catches in this ball game.
Yeah, you're talking right place, right time here. I mean, Zach Robinson gets it out, should have been caught, gets bounced up in the air off of the face mask, and Sanu's in the right place at the right time, gets the catch. And, you know, it's one of those things where you'd like to be in that position. You know, you would think it just kind of happened right.
And here's a throw, and it's thrown a little bit too high, intended for Vidal Hazelton. He could not pull it down. He actually couldn't get up to it. And that's an incomplete pass. It'll be third down now for the Bengals, third and about 13.
Going back to that interview with Tom Zbikowski, he's one of those guys. I met him at training camp. I did an interview with him. Nicest guy in the world. We chit-chatted for a while. But he's one of those guys I would never want mad at me for any reason, because I feel like his bravado as a boxer fighter, I would never want to get on his backside.
I think you got a point. Here's another throw to Sanu, who makes the catch, but it'll be shy of the first down. Colts do a nice job there. Cassius Vaughn came up and made the stop on the play, and they're going to force the Bengals into a punting situation with 5 minutes to go in this ball game. I do want to pick up on the subject I broached quite a while back now about the waiver wire. And we'll talk more about that, I think, when we come back, even though if we don't have a break here, we will definitely, if we do stay here, we'll talk about it. And I think we're going to. Here's the punt. Levon Brazil comes up with a reception at the 13-yard line. Levon can't find any place to go and goes down at the 16. James Devlin comes up with a stop on the play. And let's take a look at some key dates for the Indianapolis Colts. And here in the NFL, of course, the roster cuts down to 53 tomorrow. Teams can sign players to practice squads on September the 1st. The waiver wire becomes a very active thing now, Jim. And one of the keys for Indianapolis after their struggles of last year, they get the first look at the waiver wire for every player that is put on waivers, and they can pick up anybody they want to. So whoever the 53-man squad is as of tomorrow, it could change fairly dramatically by the end of the week.
Yeah, just because we're cutting our guys to get down to 53, other teams are cutting their guys too. So if Coach Pagano and GM Ryan Grigson feel like one of those guys from another team gets cut, could help this team and could help this team win, they're going to go out and get them, and then you'll see more guys that you've grown familiar with throughout the preseason not be here anymore.
So definitely the 53-man roster as of tomorrow may not be the same 53 that goes to work against the Chicago Bears about 10 days from now. So that could change fairly dramatically as the Colts get a chance to look. There you see a shot of Ryan Grigson. I've never seen anybody with a phone in his ear more than this guy during the preseason.
But you're right. Tomorrow by 9 o'clock, the Colts will have 53 of these players you see on the field on their team. Now, as September 1st comes, 12 p.m. is going to roll around, and then the Colts can sign 8 guys to their practice squad, and then the claiming of players off the waiver wire begins. So then you might see, give up a guy here, grab a guy there, kind of a thing. So there's a lot going to happen. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see this team 10 days from now as a whole unit, ready to go in Chicago.
Chandler Harnish took a snap there and kind of lost the ball as he looked like he was going to try and throw the football. It got away from him. He recovers it back at the 14-yard line. And the Colts maintain possession, but they lose yardage on the play. And now it's 3rd down and about 13.
That's one of those where Dominic Jones is lined up as a fullback. Chandler recognizes there's too many guys in the box, tried to throw that quick strike to the wide receiver out there. The fullback didn't get that memo and just kind of runs into him.
Well, now the timeout is called. We'll keep it here with 3:03 to go. And we're going to have a chance here to take a look at the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance defensive coverage of the game. Let's check that out. The defensive coverage of the game brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance.
Right here you see Moses Foku, just roam in the middle of the field. He's been all over the place tonight. He's made a bunch of tackles. He's had 2 pass defense. And you'll see right there, if he doesn't get his hand on that ball, the Cincinnati receiver is wide open. But he looks like he's put in work tonight and hopefully well-deserved, and he'll be on this 53-man roster tomorrow night.
Chandler Harnish, who's gotten a ton of work in this ball game tonight. Drew Stanton had the 2nd series of the game, and then it was Harnish who took over. And he's been working ever since. Harnish 9 of 16 throwing tonight for 151 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, he's had a really good preseason. And you can look at the coach, staff of the Colts doing him 2 things. Either he's competing for the 2nd string job, they want to see more of him, or they want to give him a stage to showcase his skills in case they cut him for other teams to sign him to their 53-man roster. But I'm sure if they don't sign him, and if we do cut him, we'll bring him back on our practice squad.
Colts do not pick up a 1st down, so it brings up 4th and a punting situation for Indianapolis, although it looks like it's going to be delayed here for a moment as time is called. We're down to 2 minutes and 54 seconds to go in this football game. Indianapolis leads at 20-16, and I'm assuming the Bengals called that timeout as they continue to try to maybe win this football game if they can get possession and get decent field position to start a drive. And obviously from where the Colts will have to punt it from, they can do exactly that.
Andrew Luck has done a great job this preseason, and we've seen him in a bunch of situations, but there's some situations we haven't seen him yet. Like this situation right here, Colts up 20-16, just under 3 minutes left. Bengals got 2 timeouts. That would be what we call a 4-minute situation, where you try to, use all that clock to not give the Bengals the ball. So we haven't seen him in that kind of situation, and we haven't seen him, in the 4th quarter try to, seal a game. You know, put the other team down and out. And so there's still a couple questions to be out there, but he's answered a lot of questions this preseason.
Yeah, no question about that. Here is Sanu, and he is knocked down after making a catch. And then tried to find a lane to go upfield on, but Latarius Thomas said absolutely no. So that's where Cincinnati will take over, and they've got good field position to start this drive. We'll take a look at what the Colts have upcoming here, the first 8 games of the regular season. Of course, they start in Chicago. First home game is against Minnesota on September the 16th. Then you see them play Jacksonville next, Green Bay, then at New York. So they've got 3 home ball games after that opener on the road.
Aaron Rodgers is never an easy task.
Good defensive play here by the Colts. Great job there, shooting through Mario Addison, who's had a really impressive game tonight as well, Jim.
Like I said, this is one of those, defensive lineman dreams here. Jerry Hughes does a good job. They get in there, they put pressure on Zach Robinson, but when you know the quarterback has to throw the ball, it puts those offensive linemen in a tough situation because those D linemen can just tee off and just head straight for that quarterback right around 5-6 yards deep in the backfield.
And a sack there, loses 6. Robinson, a quick throw this time. Tries to get it out here, the big fullback or the tight end. That was actually Bryce Davis, who actually he's the long snapper, believe it or not. And he's playing a little tight end tonight.
There we go.
Jermail Hines into the tackle. You got guys. I get all these guys are lobbying with their coaches about
put me in somewhere, coach.
We got time out of the field. Back in a moment. Is brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And Taco Bell. Live Moss. There you see the Indianapolis skyline as the Indianapolis Colts lead Cincinnati with just 2 minutes to go in this preseason. But the Bengals, great field position, 3rd down and 11. And Zach Robinson throws the football down the field incomplete. And that's 4th down in Cincinnati. Well, let's see what they decide to do here. Jim, they may decide to go for it because preseason doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's kind of like their last gasp here. They're going to try to get it. I mean, if they don't, the Colts get the ball back. They do have 2 timeouts left with 1:55, so they could stop the clock twice and get the ball back. But, final preseason game. I think you're seeing all you wanted to see from your players, and you kind of call it a day and lead on into the regular season.
The Bengals are not calling it a day. It's 4th and 11. They're going for it at their own 46. Robinson goes back, wants a first down. The ball deflected, a nice defensive play, and Mario Harvey, who has been very active tonight as well, comes up with a nice defensive stop there, and the Colts will take over on downs. So with 1:51 to go, Indianapolis leads at 20-16. We'll see the replay here on Harvey's knockdown of this pass.
Yeah, great job by Harvey. He's 2-man coverage. He does a great job on playing the inside of the receiver and just knocking that inside route down, knocking the ball down, giving the Colts the ball back. Should seal the deal and should seal another Colts victory.
So Indianapolis, if they can hold them off now and just maintain possession of the football, Harnish sets up with a power formation. They're going to hand it to Deji Kareem, and Kareem dives forward, does a nice job there, and gets it down to the 42-yard line, picks up about 4 yards on the play. We'll see if the Bengals decide to use any timeouts here.
Yeah, I think they finally called it a day, Don.
Clock is running, and you could bet the Colts are going to take as much time off it as they possibly can before they run another play. Chandler Harnish looking up at the clock. Guy comes in and calls the signal, so Indianapolis is going to take as much time as they possibly can. And I don't think the Bengals are going to try and end it or stop the clock at any point in time with the remainder of this ball game left almost down to a minute. And Deji Kareem carries this ball inside the 40-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and about 3.
Like I said earlier, this is the 20th time. Well, the Colts and the Bengals have met 20 times. The Colts have come up a little short in that series. They're only winning 7, losing 13, but this will give them their 8th win of that series. And it's kind of nice to see the Colts 2-2 in the preseason. Had a great game against Pittsburgh. Competitive game, lose on a last-second field goal. Otherwise, you're 3-1. And they're even competitive in the Washington game. I think they're going to surprise some people. I don't think it's as much of a rebuilding year as some of the experts thought. I'm hoping they can, be a 500 or better team and carry this thing through the regular season.
Deji Kareem carries the ball. He's got a first down, and that should end it. We're down to 16 seconds. Clock continues to run, and there won't be any more plays as the two teams go across the field and start to shake hands. Marvin Lewis and Chuck Pagano meet at midfield and shake hands, as you see. And Indianapolis finishes the preseason 2-2, as we indicated, with a victory over Cincinnati here tonight. And now it's on to the regular season. We'll start against the Chicago Bears 10 days from now, and it should be most interesting to see with Andrew Luck, the new franchise quarterback of Indianapolis. And I am really excited about this season, just seeing how this team progresses.
I am too. I think Ryan Grigson and Coach Pagano got a job ahead of them, but I think some young guys stepped up tonight and are going to make it tough on these guys to build a roster.
It's been fun. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks to Jim Sorgi. I'm Don Fisher. So long, everybody.